This episode is brought to you by HiDive. HiDive is sure to be one of your favorite options for streaming anime online. With dubcast episodes, you'll be able to watch your favorite Sentai Filmworks series as they air in Japan, fully dubbed in English. And with fall-exclusive anime titles and a sizzling price tag at only $5 a month, be sure to put HiDive in your online anime streaming arsenal. Be sure to use the promo code AAAPodcast at HiDive.com to get 50% off your first month of service. This episode is also brought to you by JList.com. JList is selling kotatsus. You can get yours just in time for the winter season. For as cheap as only $100, you can score a snuggle warm spot to sit or nap in your living room while watching TV, playing video games, or having food with friends. Head over to jlist.com while supplies last and score yourself a bit of authentic Japan.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at AAAPodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 447th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. My name is Kazuo, and I am joined here by two of my very best buddies in the whole wide world. Not sitting to my right, or left, I should say. Your right is Mitsuki. He's not here. Forget him.
Not here,
He's dead to us.
He's not here, baby. He's
but
not.
We do have Enzo.
Here, oh,
Enzo,
yeah.
what's up?
You got me. You got our girl Mandy today.
That's right.
Hello.
Got no rules, baby.
Ooh,
Hello.
oh boy.
No rules today.
Yeah, Grandpa Mitz is off in the world doing whatever it is old people do. He's probably playing bingo or something. I don't know.
Definitely playing bingo and losing money on it.
And losing money, yeah. And wondering why his grandkids don't come over anymore. It's because you smell, all right, Grandma? It's because you smell. It's because there's nothing to do at your house.
Your farts smell like too much bacon, my guy.
I'm sorry. So, of course, you got crazy Uncle Kazuo and the children. You guys are my children. Well, you're not my children.
Yeah.
You mean the one that's older than you?
Yes, you are my child, Mandy.
Oh, okay. That is a weird family tree.
Yes, it's complicated. It's, I live in the South right now, guys. It's really, there's all kinds of things going on. So, on today's episode, well, you know what? Before we get into all that, you can always find us online at our website. Let's not forget, AAAPodcast.com. You can go to AAAPodcast.com/join to create an account to sign up for all the extra content that we put out. Just hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcast goodness for your listening pleasure. We just did a Hobby Addicts.
Hours, man.
Dude, there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's just a lot of hours on there.
Yeah. So if you're not tired of us, you can be if you'd like. Just sign up for an account.
Just pay us money.
Yeah.
We
Then
had
you'll
a
be.
sweet outro song on our Hobby Addicts today.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
dude, we might reperform the outro song.
We did a Hobby Addicts about what video games we're playing, and although I rarely play games, I have been playing a video game, so you can find out what that is and what I thought about it, and of course all the myriad of indie games that Mandy's been playing, and what popular online shooter Enzo is currently playing. I feel like that's pretty accurate to our demos, our demographics, who we are.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, yeah. So head over to the website to get access to that. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/AAAPodcast. You can also join our Discord server if you're into that. Go to the website, AAAPodcast.com. At the very top, there's a link to join the Discord, and you can hang out with all the listeners where they talk about manga and whatever else they do on there, post memes.
The Manga Club.
I honestly think the Discord pretty much talks about literally anything, like everything and anything at any moment, and then sometimes really good anime discussion too.
It's true.
Manga Club is currently reading Kokoro Connect, so get on
Nice.
there and check out the channel from Manga Club if you want to join.
That's right. Couple of quick announcements. Of course, the week is upon us.
Dude, it's time.
In a couple of days, Mandy and I and Mitz are going to be on a jet plane heading to New York City.
Private jet to New York City.
Not
straight to my
a
house.
well.
Private jet,
Private
yes.
jet
It has
landing.
AAA written on the side.
Yeah, it's red. It's bright red. AAA on the side. It's gonna land on my Brooklyn apartment roof
Whoa.
and just deposit you guys through a tube
No, actually,
into
it
my
says
bedroom.
Anime Addicts Anonymous. We couldn't get sued by, the
True.
actual AAA.
By AAA or anything like that. Yeah. No, we're gonna parachute out and land on your roof.
Yes. Yes.
And then like when the chute opens up, it's just a giant like it's just
It's
anime
just our album
titties.
cover.
It's-
It's just the girl.
It's like the parachute is just a giant like bra like, with a ribbon on it.
What the heck?
I don't know.
Okay.
But
and
we're
confetti. Lots of confetti.
Either
Anyway,
way,
the point of the story is
we're gonna be
that-
in New York. All right, we're
Yeah.
going to Anime NYC the weekend of November 15th, 16th, which is this week. If you're listening live, even if you're listening not live, the show should be out before we get to New York. So if you're in the
Correcto.
New York area, or if you can make it to the New York area, hit us up. We're gonna be at Anime NYC. We're gonna be doing some panels with High Dive, one of our sponsors. They hooked us up, and we'll also be doing a special event after one of the days. Do you know which day it's supposed to be on?
Yes.
Saturday.
So we're
Saturday?
doing so Saturday night, late at night. This is like
Late
this
at
is
night.
like everyone had you all had your fill of the con. You all went and got food, and then it's game time. Then at like 10 p.m. we have a karaoke room at Japas 38 here in this heart of New York City. It's a place that has a whole bunch of like the anime songs that we love. Yeah, so all the details and stuff are on the Facebook group. There's an event pinned. It's the first post you'll see. There's a Hajime no Ippo karaoke scene as the event picture. Yeah, so check it out if you want to go RSVP. The reason we asked for the RSVP is because they're probably going to ask for a head count, and based on the RSVPs and based on the number of people I know are going, I want to give them an estimate. So if you can hit the RSVP button, it'd be very helpful.
And the RSVP button is on the Facebook page, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So head over to facebook.com/groups/AAAPodcast. I think it's the pinned message on there.
The top is the first thing, the first post. you'll see.
The first thing you'll see. You might have to click like show pinned message if you don't see it there. But you can RSVP and come hang out with us and have a few drinks and sing some anime songs together. And
It's going to be 2 hours of just a lot.
Mitsuki will probably get naked and make you feel really uncomfortable.
You know, he says that as a joke, but I mean, he probably will take a shirt off.
Yeah, no. Look, there are a few things in this world that I am completely certain about: taxes, death, and Mitsuki taking his shirt off.
Oh yeah, you're right. I shouldn't even contemplate that it's gonna be not a thing.
Those are the only things you can be sure of in this world.
100%.
All right, so hopefully you guys can join us. We would love to see you all. That would be amazing. On today's episode, we are going to be doing the last batch of impressions for the fall anime season. So we've got, I think, 5 shows, and only one shall pass.
Wow.
So we're going to find out which of those 5.
Suspense.
It's crazy. Those shows are Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, Boarding School Juliet, Sono toki kanojo wa, which something to do with girlfriend, isn't that what? No.
It translates to like at this time, like she or girl.
Okay. Why am I thinking
Time
kanojo
girl.
is girlfriend? What is girlfriend in Japanese?
No, you could say kanojo for girlfriend, but it also just means girl.
Oh, okay. Interesting. There's also Tsurune, which is the show about archery, and Hashiri Tsuzukete Yokattatte, which I have no clue what that means.
That's the one about the the name means like I'm glad I could keep running or something like that, but it's the one about voice actors.
Okay. And the main topic for today is going to be one that was suggested by Saitake, I believe in the Discord. he suggested this, I want to say. Is that right? I think. And it is called Root for the Villain. So we're going to be talking about some villains in anime that we were rooting for and why. And so that'll be a really interesting discussion. Of course, Mandy has written like a thesis on the different villains.
I never know what you guys might do. I'm expecting a top 10.
I want to push that point further. Like, if you guys subscribe to the podcast, you get the show notes, right?
Oh no!
Here's the thing. Mandy's work is ridiculous.
Yeah,
she puts so much into that document.
What's really funny on this one though is if you look at the section where we filled out the information for the main topic, Mandy, this is like so spot on for our like personalities. Mandy wrote a book of like detailed information of like all the characters and why she feels how she feels about them and all this stuff. And I literally just wrote their names down.
Yep.
I was like, these guys.
Literally nothing.
So that's, if that doesn't tell you.
That's accurate as Enzo, the one who's never there.
I'm so busy. I'm so sorry.
Womp womp. All right, guys. So before we get into all of that, we got a big show today. So of course, we need to start with the big news of the week.
Oh, 大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
All right.
Man, that was loud.
I know it was a little loud. I'm trying to figure this out. All right, guys.
Producer-san, you got the levels, man. The levels.
They're good on my end. I don't know about you guys. That's you gotta adjust your ear levels.
It's a personal problem. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So big news of the week: My Hero Academia takes number 11 out of the top 20 spots on the U.S. monthly book scan October manga list.
Wow.
Damn.
So
wow.
That's, I don't know why specific. Oh, so it takes 11 of them. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought at first when I read this that it takes number 11 on the top 20. I'm like, that's not big news. But it literally took the top 11, or not top 11, but 11 of
the
spots, which is pretty ridiculous. Including spot number 1, of course. So
can you read through the top 20 here, because it's gonna sound ridiculous with how many times you have to say.
I don't think we have to say the authors. We could probably just say the series.
what the series are. So 20 is Food Wars, 19 is The Promised Neverland, 18 is Tokyo Ghoul, 17 is My Hero Academia, 16 is Blue Exorcist, 15, 14, 13, 12, and 11 are all My Hero Academia. 10 is Zelda Twilight Princess. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, I did hear about that. 9 is Bleach. 8 is Frankenstein, the Junji Ito story collection, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I did a manga minute on that.
Yeah.
You did.
7 is My Hero Academia. 6 is Berserk Official Guidebook. 5 is Tokyo Ghoul. 4, 3, 2, and 1 are all My Hero Academia.
But those are all different volumes too.
Yeah. Those are like volume 1, 2, 3.
It's incredible though. Like, that's literally a full victory right there. I don't know what more you want. I mean, unless you want to take up the entire top 20, but like taking half of it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's pretty
you're doing
insane.
Okay. You're doing okay, my guy. You're doing good.
Like, I guess is One Piece like the manga? No, the manga stopped, didn't it? Or did it? Is it still...
I think it's still going.
I think, I remember them saying that it was going to be ending at some point. But yeah, why is that? I'm surprised that's not on there at all. Huh? That's weird. Because I just always imagine like that's the most popular thing like of all time in Japan, but I guess not. All right, so yeah, that's kind of cool. That's some news for you. My Hero Academia, apparently pretty popular. Who knew?
Who would have thought?
Yeah,
it's a little popular.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
a couple people like it.
I've heard of it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. And what's this? Double Trouble. Oh my.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
Shut up! You haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here.
All right. Was that loud, guys? Was that okay?
No, it's good.
No, it's
Okay,
good.
All right. I found the sweet spot.
Good job.
So Double Trouble, staying in line with super popular shonen manga. We've got a top 10 here, which is awesome. Thank you, Mitz, for putting this on the doc. The fans have chosen the top 10 moments from the Dragon Ball manga.
Oh, that's a cool top 10 right there.
Yeah. So to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the magazine, as well as the upcoming Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, Shueisha published something that contains the results of a fan poll deciding the top 10 moments from the Dragon Ball manga. So, I've got the top 10 drops over here. Let's go here. Starting with
Number 10.
number 10.
Yeah, so at number 10, we have Goodbye Dragon World, the ending of the Buu saga and the original Dragon series.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
I'm not surprised that like the ending of an arc makes a top 10. Those are always probably the best moments, right?
Yeah. And I remember that moment like in the anime. Obviously, I haven't really read the manga much.
Neither have I.
But I definitely remember that moment in the anime, and it was super emotional, because it's like Goku like goes off to he just disappears. Like I forgot where he went, but like yeah, it was pretty emotional, and like it's like, well, I guess it's over. Like there's the whole story, and then of course they came out with GT, which was an abomination, but whatever.
Yeah.
So all right, well, let's
next
see
one.
here.
Number 9.
Number 9. Mandy, you want to take that one?
Sure. Number 9 is the first wish made to Shenron. Emperor Pilaf attempts to use the Dragon Balls in order to dominate the world, but before he can utter the wish, Oolong interrupts and wishes for panties.
Classic.
Yep, I remember that too. Hilarious. I actually went back and started rewatching like all of Dragon Ball, like the original series, a little while ago, and there are a lot of like inappropriate moments in that show.
Dragon Ball is high key pervy, man.
Yeah, for real.
High key, dude.
And it's like a show aimed at little kids and stuff. It's like, okay. But yeah, there was in the original Dragon Ball, Emperor Pilaf collected the balls, summoned the dragon, and then Oolong, or they were like, the heroes were all like trapped inside of his castle, and then Oolong was able to break out. I think he turned into like a bat and like flew out through like a hole or something, and then got over there. And right as Pilaf was about to ask for the wish, he was like, I wanted the best pair of panties ever, and then it like fell from the sky, and that was it. It's pretty ridiculous. All right, so number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Goku first awakens the Super Saiyan.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, this is iconic. Everybody remembers this moment.
Yeah.
It's when Frieza killed Krillin on Namek, and because Krillin had already been resurrected once before, Goku believed that he could no longer be resurrected. And then, of course, he freaks out and turns in, Super Saiyan for the first time. So, I don't know. You guys, Mandy, did you watch? I mean, well, no, because I guess you didn't get into anime until you were like in high school, right? Or no? Was that?
No, I got into it earlier. I just never watched Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. So
I remember that moment.
But you remember that?
Like I can remember it pretty much frame by frame. Like I remember seeing that episode for the first time, being like, yo, like that was sick. like that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like my guy just went blonde and he was cool as hell.
Yeah, and then of course everyone becomes a Super Saiyan. Like unborn babies are now Super Saiyan.
Totally.
In Dragon Ball.
I also remember the immediate effect the next day at school during recess. Just so many kids going like, "I'm going Super Saiyan!" Ah! Just, like,
oh my god, we were such nerds.
Oh my god, such nerds. But dude, yeah, man, I believed it. I was like, if I yell for long enough, I'm going Super Saiyan, dude.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. All right, let's see. Next up,
Number 7.
Number 7, we have Gotenks versus Majin Buu. Goten and Trunks fuse to become Gotenks, a superpowered Super Saiyan fighter. He battles Majin Buu with a mixture of brute strength and childish tricks. I love Gotenks.
I hate him so much.
He's such a punk, but I love him.
I don't like him. I think Goten and Trunks signaled the downfall of Dragon Ball, in my opinion. In my personal opinion.
Interesting.
Some people really like them.
First time I've heard that, but
some people really like them, but I feel like at that moment is where like Dragon Ball just kind of like, for me personally, fell off, because I was like, okay, where it's not serious anymore. Now it's they're doing like their ghost whatever attacks and stuff that they did, and I don't know. It just became. It sounds dumb to say, but it became too childish in a weird way for me. I was like, I can't take this seriously anymore. Even though it's a cartoon, why am I taking it seriously? But hey, some of them you can definitely take seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess that's kind of when it like jumped the shark for me. I guess, for lack of a better term. All right. Next up.
Number 6.
You want me to do it? I got it.
Yep.
Goku versus Piccolo Jr. After Piccolo, I almost said Piccolo, I'm so sorry.
Piccolo
is defeated by Goku. He is reincarnated as Piccolo Jr. The two fight again at the World Martial Arts Tournament in the climax of the Dragon Ball Child Saga.
Yeah, I remember that. Gosh, that was I saw that a long time ago. That was like towards the end of the original Dragon Ball. And, you know, Goku beat King Piccolo first, and then Piccolo Jr. was born, and then they fought again at the next martial arts tournament or whatever. So, yeah, that was a cool scene. My memory of it's kind of foggy, though, because I haven't watched that in a very long time. I don't know if you remember that, Enzo.
Oh, I do. It's a very cool fight. It's probably like the last time we see Goku like fight like hand to hand fairly, right?
And when he fought Raditz, like, you know, that was a hand-to-hand fight. There's a few, you know, the movies, like the early movies, the first 3, there's a lot of hand-to-hand stuff. If that's what you're kind of talking about.
Yeah, no, but like Piccolo never again became an equal. Ever.
Well, I mean, outside of when he killed Goku when he fought Raditz. Yeah, you're right.
True.
Or I guess in the Frieza, when he fused with Nail, he became more powerful at that point.
True.
I
forget
Goku.
that he does that fusion, but even so, I don't think so.
Yeah, Piccolo's. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to be the most powerful. Like he's such a badass, and he's such a strategist too. Like, yeah, I don't know. I love Piccolo.
Piccolo's just pops, you know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next up is
Number 5.
And of course, oh wait, whose turn is it?
I can do it. Yeah. Number 5 is Goku versus King Piccolo. Actually, the evil King Piccolo takes over the world, and Goku stands up to fight against him.
Yeah, that was a cool. So that's prior to obviously the Piccolo Jr. fight, and that's when Goku, like Kid Goku, like launched himself through King Piccolo's chest. That's a pretty iconic shot.
Dude, wild.
Yeah. So that
imagine what that feels like. Just have a kid just rip through your chest.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people know what that feels like. They're called mothers who had C-sections.
I suppose I can't argue that one.
Although it doesn't really go through the chest, I guess. It kind of goes through, the abdominal wall.
And you're also like willing to do it and not just like having to be forced into getting your chest ripped out.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's terrifying on a number of levels.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, the next one's fun.
Number 4.
Love that.
What? Oh, you're just laughing at her saying number 4?
Number 4.
So number 4 is Super Vegito versus Majin Buu. So after Buu had killed almost everyone on Earth, Goku and Vegeta put aside their differences and fused to become Vegito, the only being strong enough to fight Buu toe-to-toe. So this was this the fusion dance? No, this was the earring fusion. Because the fusion dance... Huh?
The fusion dance is Gogeta?
Gogeta, right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so this is when they put the earrings on. And then which is interesting because like there was at the time they believed that if you fused using the earrings, they wouldn't be able to unfuse.
Correct. And that's why I thought it was crazy they even fucking did it in the first place.
Well, I mean, I guess when everyone on Earth has been killed, you don't really have a lot of options. Although at that point, they're all dead, so fuck it, right? I mean, like, let's get the hell out of here.
I will say that Vegito is my favorite combination I think I like Vegito over Gogeta. Just like, I don't know, I thought he was cooler for some reason.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I agree, actually, now that I think about it, for sure.
Oh my God. Brooklyn, please.
Next up is
Number 3.
Goku Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
No, you go.
Goku, Gohan, and Krillin fight against Vegeta. When Vegeta first arrives to invade Earth, he's stronger than Goku. Only by teaming up with his son and his best friend does Goku stand a chance against Vegeta.
Nice. So, yeah, another iconic moment, of course, is, with the Saiyan arc. Goku finally returns from Snake Way and starts fighting Vegeta and doesn't do great. I mean, he does all right, I guess, but ultimately Vegeta's beating his ass, and then, Gohan and Krillin kind of step in to help out. So that was an awesome fight scene. You know what I'm upset that's not on this list is Gohan and Krillin on Namek, my favorite.
Fighting the Ginyu Force?
Yeah, fighting the Ginyu Force. I love that.
Oh my god.
It's so awesome.
Not much to say there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only one that really likes that.
The next one is iconic though.
Number 2.
Yeah, so this one is Gohan versus Cell. Goku has sacrificed his life in the battle against Cell. All of the other Z fighters have fallen except for Gohan, who must tap into strength he doesn't know he has in order to save the world. I mean, this one is I've heard like two different sides of this one. People think it's a very overdramatic scene. People think it's one of the best scenes ever. I'm on the side it's one of the better scenes in Dragon Ball. It's like the father-son Kamehameha is probably one of my favorite moments ever of Dragon Ball Z, where like Gohan finally like believes in himself enough with the apparition of Goku behind him to like kill Cell and overpower him. It was like it was like probably my favorite ending to an enemy arc in Dragon Ball Z.
To me, it is the best moment in Dragon Ball, and
right.
and like it is the peak of Dragon Ball. Like that is when like it reached the apex of its greatness, and of course it was it was kind of downhill after that, but in not completely downhill because the Blue Arc was still cool and everything, at times. But yeah, that was just like when that was such a beautiful scene, and like kind of like what you said, when Gohan finally became confident in his abilities, which Goku had always known about. Even back when he was a little kid, he realized how powerful Gohan was, and I'm sure he knew that he would eventually become more powerful than him. It's just Gohan didn't realize that, and so to see that happen, and for him to be able to achieve that was incredible. And then he became a complete loser.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest L's Dragon Ball ever.
Oh my god, dude! I feel like Akira Toriyama is just trolling us by being like, "Hey, Gohan's the most powerful person in the world," and then he just becomes a loser.
Except he just becomes wife then a loser.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. All right, last up is
Number 1.
What could possibly beat that? How about the final battle between Frieza and Goku? So we talked about when Goku became Super Saiyan during that battle, but the final battle after becoming Super Saiyan, the fight between Goku and Frieza, it was the longest battle in the animated series. It spanned over a dozen episodes.
That's that's 12 weeks.
I wonder if somebody can put together like what do they call it where you cut together a bunch of stuff? A supercut? Just a supercut of all of the screaming in that battle. I wonder how many episodes do you think that would take up?
Well, 12, dude.
That would take 11 and a half episodes of the 12.
11 and a half episodes, 10 minutes of pure fighting.
Yeah. So, Mitz wrote on here, the climax is a very standout moment, showing Goku's desire to spare Frieza's life right to the very end. So, that's true, yeah. Which you could argue is why Goku is, people could see that as weakness, It's like, you have this monster who has murdered countless people in the galaxy, and even at the very end you want to spare his life. It's like, I don't know, dude, maybe you should just not maybe you should just kill him, put him out of his misery.
But at the same time though, like, it is definitely a Goku move, and I never questioned it. Like, I never questioned. To me it was like, yeah, Goku would do that, I guess.
1,000%.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right.
Real quick before we move on, because this is really big news, and I think it came out after Mitz worked on the show notes. Okay. Which I'm gonna add this in here. So Crunchyroll and Funimation, I think we already mentioned, I think that they broke ties.
Yes,
we did.
But Crunchyroll has lost a ton of shows.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There is a list online. I'm trying to find it, and it'd be way too long to list, but I'm seeing people are mentioning maybe over 200 shows.
Jeez.
I don't know if that's accurate, but some of the ones that they have lost that are big are Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Noragami's gone, Hellsing's gone, Black Lagoon is gone.
Nichijou's gone.
Nichijou is gone. Tatami Galaxy, I had to say that one, is gone. Code Geass is gone. There's loads of them. So if you are on Crunch, and that's both dub, everything is gone.
So
so if you were watching a show, you log on, all of a sudden it's not there. That's why, which happened to me.
Yeah,
I was watching Welcome to the NHK. I had 2 more episodes to go. Suddenly, it was gone. I was like, no.
Yeah. A listener on Twitter was tweeting, because I tweeted about this earlier today, and
so did I.
This listener at Rai Rhino said, I was literally in the middle of Nichijou episode 14 when it became available. Like, he literally was watching, and then it was all of a sudden he went to the next episode, and it just wasn't there anymore.
Wow.
Bison Wolf's gone. Steins Wolf, or
Steins Wolf.
Steins Gate is gone.
Steins Wolf.
Steins
Wow.
Wolf. That's the
Wolf.
sequel.
Yeah, so it's gone from Crunchyroll, and I would assume.
Oh, Attack on Titan all season?
Oh wow.
Oh no. Remaining. I'm sorry, it said remaining.
I would imagine it's also gone from Verve as well, which is owned by Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
So
Verve, I think Verve lost all.
They're gone.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's why they brought in High Dive instead.
yeah, so that's crazy. It's interesting because
know.
now Crunchyroll is kind of partnered with High Dive, at least on Verve. So
Captain Avatar says Funimation is adding 300, and some will still be on both services. So
they're adding 300. Are they going to be? So they're going to be doing sub stuff as
I think
well?
to their own platform. I think.
Yeah.
Funimation
Well,
just bought out.
Well, if I remember on the Funimation's like announcement of the whole cutting ties, like they want to become a platform that people go to.
Yeah.
So like for both subs and dubs. So
Right.
So that they're just taking back what they own.
I feel like it
and
was
now they're
inevitable,
gonna make
right?
their own thing.
Yeah.
It's inevitable when your corporate overlords see that people.
Oh, but Hakamon's gone. No,
Yeah.
I go back and watch that all the time. Oh,
All right.
Oh,
Well,
no.
that's bad news. It's unfortunate.
We'll
but
probably we'll probably talk about it more next week. Oh well, I don't know if we're gonna do an episode next week.
not next week. The week
Yeah.
after.
as more information comes out.
A lot of people are requesting it, so I really wanted to throw it out.
Yeah. For sure.
And I appreciate that for sure.
Thank you for keeping us informed. All right. Well,
No problem.
on that piece of bad news. I mean, I guess not really bad news. Because I mean, it's not like it's gone. You just go to Funimation, I guess. I don't know. We have a new segment here that we've done once, and we're gonna bring it back again. It is what? Hold on. Wait, where is it? I know the drop is on here somewhere.
I love it.
We can make it up.
It's Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner.
Yes.
皆さんおめでとうございます Join us in Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner.
Yeah. So, as Kazuo mentioned, this is like the newest segment we have on the podcast, along with Retro Dive. This one, though, is something that I wanted to do, where listeners can write in about things they've achieved, projects they're working on, things they've overcome, like an illness or something, and we want to celebrate you guys for doing such things. I just wanted to celebrate because we love our listeners. We really do honestly love our listeners a lot.
Yes.
So this is just a way for us to like show that in the podcast.
So you can go to the website, top of the
Yes, so
page,
Yes.
where it used to say mailbags. Now it says, I think, mailbags and more. As you can click there, one of the options will be the Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, and you can just drop in whatever you've accomplished.
Yeah, or that or something you're working on. For example, Salty, who is the person's entry that we're reading today, is very active on Discord.
My son.
It's the same Salty. Oh yeah. Yeah. So Salty says, currently in high school, I am constantly obtaining a 33 plus composite score on my ACT practice exams and a near perfect score on the science and English sections of the practice exams. Yeah, dude. As from someone who was never good at tests, good job. That is amazing, and I'm glad that you're doing really well on those tests. Don't let up on those scores. From my experience back in high school, the really smart kids in the class, they always said it's the moment where like you stop trying that like those scores dip. So keep it up, man. I'm really proud of you for keeping up those scores.
I'm not entirely sure what those things are that he said. But hey,
What school?
I think an ACT is a test I was supposed to take that I didn't take.
Yeah, I think it's one of those tests where you take it to. It's like a standardized test you take to show how like good you are to apply for stuff. I think I don't remember honestly.
Like an
It's been
SAT.
a long time. Kinda, it's kind of like an SAT,
Which
yeah.
I
It's
also
been a
did
long
not take.
Yeah, I was proud of my SAT score back in the day. I forgot what it was though.
I graduated high school, but I think it's because they misplaced a lot of my stuff.
Good.
When I switched schools.
I'm glad they did.
So I didn't have to take some classes or some tests. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, Salty, congratulations on the good scores, man. Keep it up. We're rooting for you.
Absolutely. And I am looking for a drop here for the next segment.
Stall,
Please
quick, stall.
Where is it? It's on this tablet somewhere. I'm gonna find it, unless it's not on the tablet, unless Mitz didn't put it on here.
No,
is
it's
this the drop that goes wee doo wee doo? Which one is that?
That's my brain, the sound effect.
Oh.
Bro, I don't see it on here. So the next segment.
Let's improvise this drop.
So the next segment.
What can we do?
Is hot new anime releases. So Mandy and Enzo, please improvise a hot new anime releases drop.
All right, do it.
Oh, me? Just me?
You and Enzo.
No. Drop the beat.
I'll do the wee doo wee doos, and then you do the word. Okay. Wee doo. Come on.
Konnichiwa, minasan. It's time for hot new anime releases.
Oh, perfect. Well done, guys. All right. It's really not on the soundboard. I know you guys thought that what you heard just now was a drop from the soundboard, but it was not. It was actually Mandy and Enzo.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Yep, that's exactly.
You know what's funny is Mitz is gonna come back and be like, "It's right there, you dummy." I'm like, all right. So hot new anime releases. Big news here. Netflix reveals 3 anime works by Japanese studios. So 3 things coming to Netflix here. One is Kagister, I guess is how you pronounce that. Kagister of an Insect Cage, which is an adaptation of a Kacho Hashimoto Mushi Kago. What? Oh, the name of the guy is Kacho Hashimoto. The name of the manga is Mushi Kago no Kagister. So
it says here, author Chicken Hashimoto on the My Anime list.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So this one is set in a post-apocalyptic world where a mysterious disease called Kagister turns people into giant murderous insects. The manga is based. Yeah, the manga the manga-based series follows the struggle of a young couple to stay alive. Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like could be a horror or something like that. I don't know. The second
giant murderous insects. No
giant murderous. It sounds like Terraformars.
Hopefully not though.
Game. What was there was a game about killing giant insect aliens. What was it? Shoot. All right.
BeetleBots?
I'll look it up. No. BeetleBots? No.
Okay, never mind.
The second one coming is an anime called Yasuke. And a couple things about it is that it takes place in a war-torn. God, my mouth can't do that. War-torn feudal Japan of mechs and magic. A retired ronin must take up his sword when he is discharged with the task of transporting a mysterious child who dark forces want to eliminate. The story's protagonist is based on the historical figure of Yasuke, a samurai of African origin who served under Oda Nobunaga during Japan's Warring States period in the 16th century. The director and producer will be LaShawn Thomas, who has done Children of Ether, Cannon Busters, and The Boondocks. It's Studio Mappa, who has done Yuri on Ice and Kakegurui. And yep, they'll be the ones producing the anime. So this is interesting because it's a samurai of African origin. So I'm interested to see how it goes down.
That was it. That was the game. Earth Defense Force. Thank you, Icy.
Earth Defense Force.
Yeah, it's where you get mechs and punch giant ants in the face.
Dope.
You know what would really
this
help?
one sounds cool. I'm a sucker for like period pieces and like historical things, especially Oda Nobunaga and like the millions of things that have come out about this man. This one's different though because it's about a warrior under him that's of African origin. So bring it on. I'll definitely try it out.
Yeah, sounds cool. And it's the I guess director and producer of The Boondocks, which is a comedy but has some badass fight scenes like in that show. So that'll be pretty cool to see what he does with that. All right, third one. Do you want to read the next one, Mandy?
Yeah. Let's see. The third is Altered Carbon, a a feature based on Netflix's live-action science fiction series of the same name. The work will explore new elements of the story mythology. Writers Dai Sato from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, Eureka 7, Cowboy Bebop, and Ergo Proxy, and Tsukasa Kondo are credited as writers for the project. Anima is producing the animation.
Oh wow,
dude, that writer has worked on
Carbon.
some good shit.
That sounds dope.
Dude, the writer
is there anything?
The Shell, Eureka 7, Bebop, and Ergo Proxy. They're okay.
Were you looking up Altered Carbon, Mandy?
Yeah. I was.
What'd you find?
It's a Netflix original. Sorry, I'm not finding much on it. We can move on.
All right. Another thing here, which is not, well, it's not an anime that's being created, but it's based off of an anime, is Backstreet Girls is getting a live action adaptation.
What?
That's right.
What?
I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the trailer, but it looks awesome. It looks like a...
Oh, wait. This does look awesome.
It looks like a mixture between like Starsky and Hutch types, that 70s cop drama type stuff, and Kill Bill. Like, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it really does. It even has a flair of Bebop if Bebop was live action.
Yeah, so this was announced by Toei on Monday. It is going to be titled Backstreet Girls Goku Dolls, which I guess it means like Yakuza idols or something like that. It'll premiere in Japanese theaters on February 8th of 2019, so just a few months from now. Director would be Keinosuke Hara, who I guess worked on Watashi no Jinsei Nanoni. He's directing the film. The script is by Shoichiro Masumoto, who worked on Sakigake, Cromartie Coco, the movie. So interesting. The trailer looks awesome. If you have a chance, check out the trailer.
This trailer is dope as hell. I'm watching it right now. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I found Altered Carbon's synopsis. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're done.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so it was a dystopian cyberpunk series, and it says in the future, a person's memories and consciousness can be decanted in a disc-shaped device called a cortical stack, which is implanted in the vertebrae at the back of the neck. These storage devices are of alien design and have been reverse engineered and mass-produced. Physical human or synthetic bodies are called sleeves, and stacks can be transferred to new bodies after death, but a person can still be killed if their stack is destroyed. So it sounds like this is perfect for the director of Ghost in the Shell.
And so this was
or the writer. Sorry.
So this was a live action thing.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay,
yeah, it came out in February of 2018.
Oh wow. Okay, so this year. All right, interesting. That sounds cool. And the Backstreet Girls thing looks badass, even though
it looks awesome,
it's a silly premise. Oh, I guess I should say, for those that are unfamiliar with Backstreet Girls, it's an anime about a group of Yakuza who like fail their leader guy. And normally when the Yakuza like fail or dishonor themselves, they have to like perform various acts to kind of like hurt themselves. So like they cut off a finger or something like that. But instead of doing that, this leader of the Yakuza made them take, I guess, a potion or something that turned them into girls. Like
no, they had to go get a sex change.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. They had to get a sex change to be girls, and they became like idols. And so it's these. So the whole anime, which it's such a goofy premise, is these like cute idol girls, but they are actually Yakuza guys on the inside, and they're struggling with like maintaining their manliness. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that seems really cool. All right. So we are going to take a news break here in a minute. We've got a trivia question. Before I get to that though, I want to mention something. Every time Mitz has been gone, I have, and I've had to like host the show. I and whoever else is on the show have drank. Now, unfortunately, there's no alcohol here. I did find a single beer in Mitz's fridge, which I will crack open and drink. So what I'm thinking is, on this news break, I'm wondering if I can make it to the 7-Eleven on the corner and back.
Oh no! Just giving me an Enzo.
Well, I mean, we don't have any control if you don't make it back.
I mean, it shouldn't take but a couple minutes. How long is this news break? I don't know.
You know what? Mitz is not here. No rules, baby. Go do it.
Oh man, we are
Go
so
do
screwed.
It.
I'm
go.
so sorry.
Do it.
I love you. You know what? You're a good man, Enzo. That's fine. All right, so we've got an in-show weekly trivia question. I'm sorry. Prior to that, we have the website trivia, which we do every week. We missed last week, but we finally got it back. Of course, you can head to the website AAAPodcast.com. Scroll down. There's a picture normally, and you have to figure out what anime it is. This one was Wicked City, and the correct answers were Otaku Cop, Nisekoi Maiko, Gup Squatch, Icy Rose, Lady Grey Bush, Chibi Rob, Kenko 31, Manly Mudkip, Golden Jedi Link, Nori El Violette, and Frozen Kangaroo. And the winner of the week is Icy Rose.
Oh, good job, Icy.
We have a drop for him now.
I know. Well, you know what, Mandy? I was looking for it earlier, and it does not appear to be on this.
Man,
oh, wait, hold on.
Great episode, guys.
Hold on. I spoke too soon. Ice, baby. That's
there
right.
It is. There it is.
So congrats.
I just said we could just sing it.
Congrats, Icy Rose. Yeah, I know, right? So the theme here is anime from the 80s. So we'll keep going with that theme on the website. Go ahead and check that out. Hopefully the new trivia will be up soon. But if you can't wait until then, I don't know. I have no control over that, guys. I just work here, okay?
Brody the Nerdy says, "Don't get locked out when you get to run to the store."
Please don't forget the key, Kazuo.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that, because I would have definitely forgotten it.
Man.
All right. So we have an in-show weekly trivia question, of course, which we will answer after the break. If one of you would like to read that, I will look for the drops that I need.
Yeah, I got you. So this week's in-show weekly trivia question is: strange life pods have crashed in the Western Mountains, bringing with them supernatural beings previously found only in the realm of folklore and fantasy. Vampires walk the earth at war with humanity and each other, driven by the most terrifying genetic imperatives. Like wasps seeking a spider, they have come to the planet for only one purpose: to perpetuate their species. After the break, you'll have to guess what anime that is. See you there.
All right. Well, I couldn't find the drops.
Man.
No, I'm kidding.
God.
I see the news drop.
Right?
I see the news one, but isn't there like an outro to the news? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got it. I see
There's
one.
one with the Pikachu.
Yeah.
The
Well, there's a couple of
Pika.
them. All right. Let's try this one. Thanks, guys. We'll be back soon.
You have to queue up the news for it. Don't forget.
I know. I'm getting my keys.
Run with the wind, Kazuo.
God help me. I'm going to hit play on this news break and I'm gone.
Hey, all you crazy anime addicts out there, I'm here delivering the anime drug to you. And now, let's get on with the news. First up, we have some live-action anime film news. It looks like Aku no Hana, which was that really strange rotoscoped anime that came out about 4 years ago or so. Well, it's getting a live-action film that's going to open up next year. The director is Noboru Iguchi, who worked on the Prison School live-action, and the production is going to be done by Phantom Film. If you're a fan of Aku no Hana, you might want to set your calendar for next year when this live action is supposed to come out. And if you're not familiar with Aku no Hana, you may want to look it up. It's a very good example of rotoscoping used in anime, and is also really dark and bizarre as well. Probably worth giving it a look. Next up, Darwin's Game, which is a action mystery manga, is going to be getting a anime adaptation. It looks like Aniplex is involved with this, as they are making announcements on their websites and have teasers posted as well. The synopsis is: an ordinary high school student, Kaname Sudo, receives an invitation for a mysterious application called Darwin's Game. Upon launching the application, Kaname becomes involved in a game where players use a range of special abilities to do battle. Unbeknownst to the incidents, facing powerful players in battles, Kaname can she overcome and survive the game. Darwin's Game has been serialized since 2012, so if you're a fan of that property, well, it looks like a pretty cool action show is going to be coming out sometime in the future. And next up, we have a pretty funny news story here. A book that was coming out that was supposed to be about the history of Super Mario Bros. 3, which is a very famous and beloved Nintendo Entertainment System game, Actually, the inside of the book was printed with a poetry collection called Grabbing Pussy by Karen Finley. That's right, Grabbing Pussy, which is a creative prose about the psychosexual obsessions that have burst to the surface of today's American politics. But you can just imagine the surprise on people's faces when they see stories and poetry about dick pics and other really odd subjects instead of the history of Super Mario Brothers, which is what they expected to get. I'm not really sure who was printing this book, but it's definitely humorous, and I thought I would share it. And next up, Dragon Quest. Looks like it's a success again. It has shipped 4 million copies worldwide already. The game launched for both PlayStation 4 and PC in North America and in Europe on September 4th. Dragon Quest, of course, the long-running and very famous franchise that is done by the Square Enix, and the art is done by Akira Toriyama, who also wrote the Dragon Ball series. So if you're a fan of the art in Dragon Ball or a fan of Japanese RPGs and you don't have Dragon Quest XI yet, you may want to go check it out as it came out and is on shelves right now. This is Mitsugi, and this was your first anime news break. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
We know the truth.
It's written all over your face.
You're addicted to anime.
But it's more than that, isn't it?
Are you also addicted to the AAA podcast?
Get all the content. Early episodes, after parties, hobby addicts, hentai episodes, show notes, ringtones, and more by joining our $7 support tier.
Go to AAAPodcast.com/join and select the $7 tier to get access to everything.
This means you'll get an extra 8 episodes of podcast goodness delivered right to your ears every month. That's less than $1 per episode.
And that's on top of all the other bonuses like ringtones and show notes.
So head to AAAPodcast.com/join and select the $7 tier. Set up your membership and you're good to go.
You know me? Of course!
Alrighty. Oh, Hanzo is not back. Nope, but we're still gonna keep on going. Oh, shoot, you're right. I thought it died off. Too bad you can't even see us. We don't even have, like, pictures. Can you see us? Yeah, dance party time. Everybody just start dancing.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hey.
Did I
Are
make
you
it?
a ghost? Did you die? Oh, there was a... Never mind.
What?
It was the stream delay.
Oh.
So you are not here, and we were having a dance party.
Yeah, dude, you kind of killed the dance party, man.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Did you just go away?
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I've got my 12-pack of beers. So I guess I can just go and party by myself.
I'm just kidding. All right, so we're back for the news break, and we had a show trivia question. Who's gonna answer that?
Enzo, you want to do that? Or
Yeah,
Mandy?
yeah. No, I got it. I got it. Yeah, so before the break, we gave you guys a little synopsis, and then we wanted you to guess the anime. That synopsis was: strange life pods have crashed in the western mountains, bringing with them supernatural beings previously found only in the realm of folklore and fantasy. Vampires walk the earth at war with humanity and each other, driven by the most terrifying of genetic imperatives. Like wasps seeking a spider, they have come to this planet for only one purpose: to perpetuate their species. That anime is Chimera, which I've never heard of.
Chimera. I guess is
Chimera.
technically.
I have
Whatever.
not either.
I think it's Chimera. Chimera.
Well, I mean, the word is chimera, but I guess in Japanese it would be pronounced
Chimera.
chimera or something like that.
Ooh.
I love how whenever I say something in Japanese, I have to say it like slightly with like a Yakuza accent. I'm like, chimera. It's like I can't just say it in my normal voice because then that wouldn't be authentic. Boy, I'll tell you what, guys. How do you feel about people that buy scratch tickets at 7-Eleven? Because I'll tell you what,
No.
I don't
Oh,
like
no.
them.
Oh, is that what kept you?
Ah, jeez. I was like, come on, Grandma. I gotta go. I got a podcast to do about anime. You wouldn't understand.
You don't understand, Grandma. Damn.
She's like, I'll take a number 5. Oh, and also a number 7. I'm like, you're not gonna win anything. You're almost dead. It doesn't matter.
She turns around and says, excuse
You got
me.
a penny?
She's like, excuse me, I know who you are. NG is a great anime. You can eat your shit burger by yourself. And
Bro, that would be sick. Some old lady just turned around and she's like, Kazuo? I'm like, what?
Kazuo?
Kazuo.
All right.
I love that anime podcast.
So next up, all right, we'll get into the next segment and then I'll start cracking open beers for myself. I'm so lonely. Nobody's here to drink with me except Neil.
Screw us.
I mean, do you guys have alcohol?
Nope.
No.
Well, all right,
But
that's
we're
okay.
here for you.
Thank you. You know what? I appreciate that. So before we get into
Do you have my drop?
I'm getting there. Before, so you know what? Fine, whatever. Here you go.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandy.
Alrighty, so Mandy's Manga Minute is where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and hopefully help you find something new to read. And I'm going to try to get through this fast because we are way over time.
No, we good.
So this week, I am doing Utsubora, the story of the novelist. The story begins with Aki Fujino, a beautiful girl who the novelist Mizoragi knew dies under mysterious. Then a girl appears before Mizoragi. And although she introduced herself as Aki's twin sister Sakura, her true identity is a complete mystery. As Mizuragi's past ties with Aki come to light, people begin to suspect him of plagiarism. Mizuragi's life spirals deeper into darkness as his editor and the police probe further into Aki's death, Mizuragi's connection with her. I think you could turn down the drop a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not loud to me, but I guess to.
It's like I can't hear myself talk. It's okay.
It's actually like I can't even hear it right now. That's how low it is.
Oh, okay.
It's weird.
The Utsubora is a mystery drama by Asumiko Nakamura. The story is complete with a single omnibus volume available in English. It originally published in 2012 and then localized by Vertical in 2013. Utsubora is the story of a man who succumbs to the lows of plagiarism. A woman from his past who is supposed to be dead comes back to life, saying she is a twin sister. As more and more evidence arises contradicting the girl's claims, the mystery of who this woman actually is surrounds Mizuragi. Our protagonist is an unreliable narrator, and we have to piece things together to solve exactly who Sakura is. The manga does tend to jump around in the narrative a lot, and this can make reading it a little difficult at times. And then there's also the artwork. It's very simplistic, and some of this has some very strange proportions. The art is definitely reminiscent of typical yaoi art, and that's because the author, Asumiko Nakamura, knows yaoi, and Utsubora is kind of like outside of his usual genre. But however, the author's heavy use of bold black makes some of the images without the dialogue very striking. Utsubora can be a little difficult for some people to get into. It's filled with mystery, drama, lots of sensuality. There's some sex scenes in it, so be prepared. And a possible unreliable narrator. But still, I found it to be a kind of a fascinating read, and I don't regret spending time on it. But I can't really think of any other story that I'd compare it to. But yeah, if you're looking for a new mystery, a shot.
That doesn't sound like a glowing review. Like, it's like
well,
I don't regret.
My purpose isn't. It's not a review. I'm not giving reviews.
That's like what every woman has
out.
said after being with me. I don't regret being with you.
Actually,
actually, that's not true. I'm just kidding. They all regret.
I am not here to give reviews. I am here to tell you something I read recently, and maybe somebody else out there will love it.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. I like the idea of having a narrator who you can't quite trust exactly what they're saying. Like that's kind of cool.
It's one of my favorite literary devices for sure.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult to read. I feel like I have to go back and reread parts of it again to see if I got it. So if you hate those kind of stories, maybe not give this one a try.
I actually really
but if you're
like
really like, man, I have to puzzle things together, and like if you want a challenge, definitely give it a shot.
Dude, I love like you, whether it's reading, which of course we all know I can't read. So when it's watching a show or something like that, where after you watch it, all these things open up and you're like, holy crap. And then if you go back and redo it, you're like, oh, I see where all, like, I love when they set those little breadcrumbs throughout the show or throughout the book. And then you have to go back and that's cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate that. I'm a fan, but
I'm a fan too. Big fan.
I love it. I really love it, but only when they do it well. I hate it when they don't do it well. And you're like, the first thing that comes to mind is there's a song about a girl named Nikki, and like the whole song, and it's actually one of my favorite rappers too, so like, but it's just not my favorite song of his, and like the whole time he's talking about this girl Nikki, and it's obviously nicotine that he's talking about but he thinks he's like, he's doing it in like vague ways, and it's like, well, yeah, but no, I know what you're talking about, like it's not that vague. So I like it when they do it well though, when it legitimately at the end of it you're like, oh wow, I didn't even see that. So that's it's hard to do, but when you do it well, it works, man. Yeah. All right. So next up we have our main topic, which should be a lot of fun. This is again suggested by Saitake on the Discord. So if you're not on the Discord, get over there and you can start suggesting topics for our shows. This one we are calling.
Do our work for us.
Yes, please. You know what? If you guys want to write my reviews, please go ahead and do that. And just send it to me, and I'll just be like, I really enjoy Sword Art Online, and I do not. No, just kidding. No. So this one we're calling Root for the Villain, and we are going to talk about some of our favorite villains in anime, but not just favorite, more specifically ones that we have cheered for or rooted for in the past. So I guess we all just want to like go round robin and give one at a time?
Down my list. I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
We should go one at a time.
Honestly, your list, how many do you have on your list?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, but one of them is definitely Troll. I can take that one out.
Okay. Well, I have 8 on my list.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I didn't write any down, but you guys have the 3 that I was thinking about.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So it's not like you have a lot of them on your list. It's just you have a lot of information for them. But yeah, if you want to start with one, then I'll go, and then Enzo.
Yeah.
Okay. My very first one, which is obvious for me, is Isaiah from Tsurune.
Oh, totally.
Because
he's charming and funny and extremely intelligent, and I really like seeing how his plans unfold or guessing what role new characters are going to play in them. And he does really awful, terrible things, but look, I love him.
Well, that's the thing about Isaiah, right? Because yeah, he does like terrible things, but like the thing is, like, he is charming, like he is. And
because he's that psychopath, man.
Yeah, there are moments where you're like, man, this guy's so cool, and then you're like, no, he's a fucking psychopath murderer. Like he can't be like feeling like,
no, he doesn't murder anyone. He gets other people to murder for him.
Right, which is insane. But
which is like, what is it, Ted Bundy? Is that the guy?
No, I think he legit just killed people.
Who was the guy that got a bunch of people to kill people for him?
No idea.
It was in California. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't remember.
Maybe somebody in the chat will tell us.
Yeah, but yeah. So like when I was watching Durarara, there were several moments where I was like, man, Isaiah's kind of like, he's cool, but I was like, no, he's bad. So I definitely agree with him being included in this topic today.
I'm trying to remember because oh man, I have a really weird like story about this guy too. I'm just. Is
it the dude with the swastika on his forehead?
What the heck?
I don't think so.
Like the old dude that like some chick married in prison. Manson,
no
Charles Manson. Oh,
Charles Manson, that was it. Thank you.
Oh, and as I say it, Mitsuki's mom in the chat says Charles Manson.
Aww, thanks, Betsy. So Apparently, Charles Manson came from Ohio, and my dad swears him down. He accidentally gave that guy a ride one day.
What?
Oh, wow.
Swears up and down.
You know what? I'm not surprised too, because like apparently he is super like charming in a way. Like
Yeah.
obviously he has
This
to be.
is
'cause
a
he
long time ago, before they even knew who he was. When
Oh my
he
God,
showed
I
up
just
on the
got
news
chills, dude.
picture. I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with anime. I'm so sorry.
it
But
doesn't. Whatever. Neither does almost anything I talk about on the podcast.
when he died, my dad came into the room and he's like, "That guy, I gave that guy a ride one day." I was like, "What
the heck,
story?"
dude?
He's like, before they knew who he was, and his like, but when his picture came up on the news, my dad recognized him. He said that he was hitchhiking, and back then you didn't care, or I mean,
Yeah.
that you weren't as cautious as you are today. Just gave him a hitchhike, just rode him up to somewhere in Indiana.
Did oh, never mind. I was gonna ask a terrible question. I can't do it. This isn't a hentai
Okay, let's
episode.
move on. Anime.
So I'll just take one that I see Kazuo had here also.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Well, dude,
I'm
it's
kidding,
true.
go ahead.
You have 3 of the ones that I was gonna put down.
What do you got?
And mine is Itachi Uchiha because
Hell yes.
yeah, because here's the thing. It's not that I was, at least for me. You tell me why you put him down, Kazuo.
Yeah.
But it's not that I was rooting for him for his cause.
Right.
Rooting for him the first time he fought Sasuke or whatever is because I think Sasuke is so annoying.
No, that's not why.
I think Sasuke is so annoying in Naruto, like his whole like edgelord front. Oh my god,
It's not
It's not a front. He's actually, you know, his life has been very complicated.
His entire like family and
I
everyone
know.
he ever knows was killed as a child by his brother.
By his brother. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're not wrong. You're correct. I found his dramatic ass annoying sometimes.
Right. Okay.
That's just the truth. And so when Itachi and him were fighting, I was like, yeah, honestly, I would be down with Itachi just like kicking his ass, TBH.
Dude, that time when they fought, and this, I guess it's a spoiler, but I mean, come on, it's Naruto. Like, if you don't know, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know how you've avoided this knowledge on the internet for all this time. But when he dies, and when he's fighting Sasuke and all that stuff, and then he kind of reveals what happened and why he did what he did, and how he was used by the Leaf Village, and like how he basically was in a way a martyr. Like he allowed himself to become the monster. And like it was so emotional. I was like, damn, man, now I like you. Like I can't, and it sucks because but it was just such a terrible situation, like kind of being manipulated by the government and all that stuff. And so that's kind of when I started pulling for him personally.
For sure. And I like a comment here in the YouTube chat that says, man, it's really hard for me to even see Itachi as a villain, even though he killed his entire clan.
Yeah, and that comes from Bebop Anonymous.
From Bebop Anonymous. Yeah, and that's true. Like, I think Itachi is probably like one of the best, serviced side characters in Naruto.
Dude.
Because he has such a phenomenal dark backstory behind him. So, and aesthetically, he's really cool too, and he's very powerful. So like, it's not hard to like Itachi, even if he's doing terrible things. But for me personally, it's just like sometimes I just find Sasuke so annoying that when he was fighting Itachi, I was like, yo, if Itachi wins this fight, like that's okay with me.
Yeah, and he's got bags under his eyes, just like me. That's why I like him.
That's why you like
him. But yeah, that's the beauty. Like a good villain, like anybody will tell you this in like screenwriting 101 or it's storytelling really in general. Like a good villain in his own world is the hero. Like in his own mind, he's doing the right thing. And like that's why it's something that you see a lot in anime specifically. Like there's where they in bad anime and like in poorly written anime, you'll see a lot of times just a bad guy who's just a bad guy because he's a bad guy, or it's an imitation of another villain that you've seen in a different anime. But like when you can actually feel for the character or relate to the character or understand why they're doing what they're doing, even though it's the wrong thing to do, that's really powerful, and that's really good writing. So to go off of that, I will include my other Naruto villain that I wrote in here, which was Zabuza. So
Dude, so sick.
yeah,
sick.
so Zabuza, one of the first villains in the Naruto series. I guess technically like the second villain, because the first one would have been what's his name? The dude that tried to like steal the scroll. I forget. Doesn't matter. So Zabuza was in the hidden village, in the village hidden in the mist, I think is what it was called. And I wasn't rooting for him. So he was a pretty terrible person overall, like just kind of like a hired hitman type character. But when I kind of started rooting for him was towards the end. It seems like it's always towards the end, like when Itachi was dying, and now when Zabuza was dying. And
that's where they let go. They're like, well, I'm dying, so I'm just reveal my entire truth, and just to like let that be the last thought of me on this planet, I guess.
So so he's dying, and Haku, I think at that point, is already dead. And Haku was the boy that he kind of like raised in a way, but the boy was his tool ultimately, but he was so fond of him and just never really expressed it. And in that moment, like towards the end, when his like last dying wish was that Kakashi like take his dying body over to Haku so that he could be with him at the end. And then he's like talking, and he's like talking about how he wishes he could go where Haku was going, like in saying that Haku is obviously not going to hell like he is. And so he's like, I wish I could be with you, but I can't go where you're going. And it's like, damn, man, like it makes you realize that so many of these characters and a lot of, really people in life, like there's a fork in the road at some point, and it's like you could be a good human being if you just had the same opportunities or the same love, at an important point in your life. But unfortunately, he didn't experience that and went a different route. So that's kind of when I started feeling for the character, and
No, I super agree with like literally everything you just said. Like it is like villains like Zabuza are the ones that hurt the most when they lose, because, and even you're right, because up to that point, like he's just legitimately just a bad dude. But like once the emotions are coming out because he's losing and Haku's dead, it comes down to the fact that like Zabuza was probably like inherently a nice person and like a caring guy. It's just unfortunate that life is unfair, and like life must have pushed him to that place where he was Zabuza with the fucking sword and killing people, right? So
because at the end,
cool.
At the end of it all, when everything is stripped away and he's about to face his maker, what happens? He his last thoughts are love, which is kind of like the core of humanity. It's pretty beautiful, especially for a kids show. It's like it's pretty beautiful and amazing.
Oh, dude, especially for like the first like main bad guy of a fucking shonen, like that was a very emotional shock.
Yeah. All right, Mandy, what you got next?
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
Does Miki count as a villain? Miki from Parasite, is he a villain?
I don't think
he's
so.
not on my list. It just popped up in my head because I love Miki.
I haven't really watched
I don't
Parasite.
know if that counts.
No,
yeah, I can't say.
Think so.
Okay, never mind. I had Shiki on my list.
Shiki.
Because by the end of the show, I was actually cheering for the vampires. So Shiki is a horror anime, and when the show begins, there's like this big mystery around what's causing this big epidemic, where all these people are dying and they have puncture wounds in their neck, but prior up to dying, they're like losing just vitality over it, like just gradually just wilting away. And to us, the viewer, it's extremely obvious what's going on. So you're kind of like assuming they're vampiric monsters. We're like, yo, catch these and kill them, end it. But when you finally find out, the vampires, they're like friendly to each other. They like when somebody dies, when they're buried, the vampires have been going and digging them up out of the grave to see if they come back as a vampire. Not all of them do, A lot of them do, though, or some of them do, though, where they come back as vampires and they're like digging them up, like, "Hey, welcome to our welcome to the afterlife."
Jeez.
And then when the main characters, like this doctor, realizes what they are, he starts killing them in really horrific ways. Man, this is a big spoiler. I'm so sorry. You might want to put the spoiler warning.
Oh, I don't have it on there. Sorry.
Oh, well, spoiler. You might want to pause for a few seconds if
I will raise my hand for those watching when the spoilers are done.
So his wife becomes a vampire, and then he ends up like doing tests on her, and ends up killing her in a really horrific way. And by the end, I felt so bad for them that I wanted them to win. It was like, what? There, I'm done. That's the end of the spoilers.
Okay, putting my hand up. Spoilers are over.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
come
so
back.
by the end of it, I was just rooting for the vampires because I felt so bad.
Okay. Enzo, you got another one?
Yeah, I do. If I could just take one of yours. that I was
Steal what you want, man. It's all good.
Oh, I think this is one that a lot of people, when they watch Death Note for the first time, they're just like, "Oh, it's a great anime because." Oh, I don't know why I'm doing that voice. It's a great anime because, because it is a show from what you can say is the villain's point of view, and this character is obviously Light Yagami, right? Because he although with good intention to make the world a better place, the guy is just a murderer, correct?
Yeah, man.
And however, as someone like me who is very like hyper aware of how shitty the world is sometimes, like part of me, a portion of me,
The Bronx
isn't
portion.
against. Oh, what?
I said the Bronx portion.
The Bronx portion of me, very much so. The Bronx portion of me is not super against Light's, extreme way of solving the problem.
Yeah.
And it's that like during Death Note, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, okay, like this guy's crazy and he's doing a lot, but then at the same time, I'm just like, then that small part of me is like, yeah, well, he's wiping him up.
Yeah, especially
It's a very dark thought. It's a very dark thought, but the topic is moments where you find yourself rooting for a villain.
Dude,
and Light Yagami is not a nice person, but there are moments where just like, if I had the Death Note and I could, make something go away for the greater good.
Yeah, I feel like, I honestly, to be 100% honest with you, I feel like it would be impossible not to.
I think it'd be impossible not to.
Yeah, because I mean, there are people in the world that you're like, man, if I just write this guy's name down, he's gone, and it could save the lives of millions of people. Like,
yeah, it's a really hard place to it's a really hard thought to have because it's because human life is valuable, right? No matter who, like, human life is life, and no one really has the right to take life away. But
if you have the ability to go back to whatever 30 something and write Hitler's name in the book, would you do it? I would say every human being would do it.
Yeah, half of me is immediately like, yes.
Yeah.
Like half of me with no hesitation is like, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
The other half of me is the one that's pondering like, well, hold on, what's my philosophy on life? Like, do I have the right to do this?
Yeah.
But the fact that half of me is immediately just like, yeah, is a testament to how like to why like Yagami has to be on this list. Because when people watch Death Note, first of all, he's a protagonist. You are kind of tricked into rooting for him no matter what. And then as the show goes on, he kills some people you kind of agree with that should be dead.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes crazy.
I'll deserve better.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Dude, oh my god. Yeah, don't even. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so I think Light is like, he's mandatory for this because I would bet that most people watching Death Note are just like, like, yeah, I would use the Death Note like this too.
Yeah, and I would say Light at the beginning of the show, like towards the end, he just goes batshit insane,
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
But at the beginning, it's like, I get it, man. I might do the same thing, if given that ability. And then, of course, there's always, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when you're given
that's exactly true.
Yeah. So that's why he was the first person I put on my list, because that was who I thought of immediately. All right. Oh, I guess should I go again? I mean, Mandy, you go ahead. I'll count that as my turn too. Because it's like.
Let me look at my list. I put Team Rocket on my list.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah.
Look, Ash never earns his Pokemon, and he never can defeat the league. So they should go to someone who can make use of him.
That's a good point.
Oh my god. Well,
but
listen,
also, Team Rocket's so pathetic. You just want to see them win, right?
I just want just one victory. Just
Dude,
one.
And their whole motto, to protect the world from devastation, to
Exactly,
unite all people within our nation.
Yeah.
What's so bad about that, boys?
Come on, guys.
What's so bad
Who's
about
the
that,
villain
huh?
here?
Exactly. And James is the mighty Moltres.
That is true.
True.
And he also has a great rack, except only in Japan.
Only in Japan. Only in the swimming episode.
Yes. Which did not make it to the States.
Yep. Nope. That did not.
Dude, I'm so happy.
They
you put
did
Team
dub it,
Rocket
though.
in
Did you
there.
know that?
What's that?
They did dub it, though.
They did?
went through the whole thing of dubbing it. It just never made it to the air.
Well, I mean, I can see why. It's a children's show. You have a dude with big old titties.
Yeah, dude. As Big Meaty Claus in the YouTube chat says, like, I also loved episodes that focus on Team Rocket because, like, the thing with Team Rocket, and I'm talking about Jesse, James, and Meowth, is because, like, as Manny said, they are so pathetic that even though they are the villains, they kind of come off as underdogs in every situation. And like while they're supposedly on the bad team of Pokemon, they're so like
they're just bad at being bad.
They're just bad at being bad, and then those two that cancel each other out, and they're good. So
you just feel so bad. You're like, here, please take my Pikachu.
You're just taking my damn Bulbasaur. God damn it!
Why do you want the Pikachu so bad? There are other better Pokemon out there.
I don't know. But remember when the episode when the other Team Rocket team came after them?
Butch and Cassidy?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I forgot they existed.
Remember Butch's voice? Oh man, it was so low and gravelly. Bitch.
Bitch.
Oh my god. That was amazing.
Holy crap.
All right.
God damn.
So I guess I'll go next. Another person I have on the list here is from another shonen. This is from Bleach. And it is Grimjaw Jaggerjack, which I don't know if you guys remember him.
I don't remember him, no.
So I haven't watched Bleach in forever, but I do remember his character, and he was one of the oh god, what were they called? I forget the group of them. They were
the
Arankar. Yeah,
Arar?
is that right? No, not Arankar.
The Hollow.
The Hollow. Yes, he was. Well, he was a Hollow, and he was one of like the top 10 Hollow dudes, whatever they called them. I forget. But the reason why I kind of like felt for him and was cheering for him was because like ultimately all he wanted was to be like better than like Ulquiorra and like some of the other Hollows. Like he just wanted to rise through the ranks. He was just ambitious. Like he was a bad guy for sure, but I feel like his like evil nature as far as, you know, harming humans was secondary only to his desire to just be more powerful. Like that's all he wanted. The Espada. Thank you, Icy Rose. The Espada was the group of the Hollows that were like the top 10 dudes or whatever. And so yeah, all he really wanted was to just be more powerful and to be respected. And you know, he didn't get that. So that's kind of why I put him on there. Is I just felt for him and I was rooting for him and I wanted him to be able to kind of like overcome. But ultimately it didn't happen. So all right.
Yeah. I don't really have other one.
Okay. Mandy,
honestly.
you want to?
Well, good thing, because I got you covered.
Yes, please.
So this one, I'm not sure if it counts as a villain. Definitely an antagonist. But I was having a really difficult time just trying to figure out if this qualifies as a villain. Because he's not really evil. But that's the Laughing Man in Ghost in the Shell. Would you say that qualifies?
I
yeah.
honestly have
You think
not.
so?
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I think he qualifies as a villain. I
guess
mean,
it's up to interpretation, but
yeah, but I feel like his methods were, or his what his goals were.
he did break the law. I mean, he
he broke the law, and his goals were pretty destructive, right? If am I remembering this correctly?
Technically. So I don't know if he qualifies as a villain, but I put the Laughing Man down because I thought he is a very fascinating antagonist who committed a lot of cyber crimes for the greater good. Like, he was a brilliant hacker, like capable of just amazing feats, who targeted the head of Sono Genomics in order to make the corruption known to the public.
Oh yeah,
so he was the one who
it's like
kidnapped
anti-hero.
Sono, held him at, or the head of Sono Genomics, held him at gunpoint and was trying to force him to fess up in front of the news. And he simultaneously hacked so many people and covered up his face, and no one knew who he was. He became like this massive pop culture icon and the catalyst to the whole standalone complex.
What was the thing? I figured I'd become one of those blind deaf kids or something like that. The whole saying.
Something like that. Because he quoted Capture in the Rye a lot. He quoted, what was the other book? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
I thought what I'd do was I'd pretend I was one of those deaf mutes. That way I wouldn't have to.
Yeah. When he was a kid, and the Major went to he was at a school. Oh man, I'm trying to remember, and they had like a cyber lab. Do you remember that? He was like a an orphan. I don't
remember. I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, despite like opposing Section 9 throughout all the series, you still cheer for him because he had good intentions, even if it was like illegal.
I would consider him an anti-hero, like the Punisher.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Because he, Sono Genomics were doing really shady shit, and he was wise to that.
All right. So the next person I have on my list, which is kind of a playoff of one of the ones that you had on your list, except it was a troll that you had on yours.
Go for it. Oh yeah. Mine. You do yours, and then I'll read mine.
Okay. So I put, this is from Full Metal Alchemist, Greed specifically, and again, I feel like a lot of the people that I put on my list, the reason why I start feeling for them is at the time of their death. I guess spoiler from Full Metal Alchemist, an anime that came out freaking 10 years ago. I don't know. So yeah, like Greed was he was a homunculus, but he was not interested in all of what the father and all the other homunculus were trying to do. Like, he didn't care about killing everyone or taking over the world, like or all that stuff, whatever they were trying to do. Like, he was greed. All he wanted was more power, more success, more all of that stuff, and really ultimately what it came down to at the end was his group. Like, he had a group of a few different what do you call them? They were like human animal hybrids. What do they call those?
Chimera?
Chimera, yeah. He had a group of like Chimera homies that he rolled with. And when they were being killed, he was so devastated. And it led you to believe that the reason why he was devastated was he believed that they were his belongings. And because he's greed, he's like, how dare you take away something that is mine? But really, like, if you kind of read in between the lines, you're like, no, he actually cared about them. Like, that's why he's so devastated, And so I feel like for me, he was the most human of the homunculi. And yeah, that's, I was, you kind of cheer for him, but of course he met his demise. And in the moment that he died, when Edward killed him, like, that was so powerful, not only for him as a character, but for Edward, because that was the first time Edward had taken a life. And it was so devastating to him emotionally. So it was a very, very powerful scene, and an awesome fight scene, by the way.
Oh man, the most powerful scene for me was when Roy burnt. Oh man, Lust.
Yes.
That was so brutal. I was like, is this like a shonen show?
He did not give a single fuck.
She killed his best friend.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying she didn't deserve it.
I'm not saying it's not warranted. It's just like he just like cold-blooded just burned her to the crisp.
Actually, you know what? She didn't kill his best friend. She wounded him.
No, you're right. It was Envy, wasn't it?
Envy did, yeah.
Yeah. But she started it.
Yeah, she started it.
But she started it.
What about Scar?
Scar, anti-hero, I would say, again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you root for him because, yeah, I don't necessarily approve of his methods, but like I totally understand what he was doing. You know, like I get it. But
I never cheered for him, but I do feel bad for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, how can you not feel bad for him and his freaking? You know, he's got his dead brother's arm. He's got this curse that he didn't want, but now he's burdened with. And yeah, that was man, good characters. All right,
Yeah.
Who you got, man?
For sure.
Characters.
Oh man, what do I have? I put Katana Gatari. I put Penguin on because he's so cute. So in Katana Gatari, Penguin is part of the fish squad. He tries to steal swords from Togame and Shichika. And man, just look up a picture of him. He's so cute. He's adorable. He stutters a lot. He's shy. And only monsters kill Penguin. It's rude. How dare you?
They couldn't appreciate.
Oh yeah, my troll lost for 2 obvious reasons.
Oh God, ridiculous.
I didn't want to take up too many because I figured you guys would want some of them, so I didn't.
I wonder.
We should probably just do one more and then get to the
let's do it.
Yeah.
Topic.
I wonder how many terabytes, and I mean terabytes, of like fan art smut there is of Lust and Roy Mustang.
Dude, I don't even.
Oh man, yeah.
That it's
off the charts.
It's a whole server of that.
It's a whole server.
I mean, would you doubt that, dude? Lust and oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm Googling.
Are you okay? So while you do that, I'll say my last one here. You know what? I'll get on honorable mentions. I had Vegeta and the androids from Dragon Ball Z, but that's not going to be my last one. My last one is going to be one that's very, for me personally, a character that I connected with in a very weird way, and you might think I'm a crazy person because this was not a good person. This character, and that is Lucy from Elfen Lied. So
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. So Lucy is not a good person. She is a terrible person.
Close.
And she killed a lot of people in very horrific ways.
But if you look at her past, it makes sense.
Yes, exactly. That's 100% it. And like, I feel like a lot of people neglect that when they watch the show. They just see her as this like evil, terrible person. But it's like, she is a product of her environment and of her past. Like, she was so mistreated as a baby, basically, as like a very, very young child, and was put through so many horrible things. And then, you know, she finds kind of love in this dog, that this like homeless mutt that she finds, which is kind of reflective of herself at the time, as like a, you know, a mutt who's like unwanted and stuff. And then what happens? These terrible kids end up violently murdering that animal that she had, the only thing that she ever loved and that loved her. And then, I mean, what do you expect at that point? You know, it's like, so, you know, of course it doesn't excuse all the terrible things that she did, but I totally understood. And I was like, damn, I get it. Like, you know, it's so incredibly well written, because it's like, you know, you could just be like, oh, she's just a bad person because she's a bad person. But it's like, no, this is the reason. You can follow the breadcrumbs and see the, you know, the path that led to that. So that's why she's on my list. Probably number 1 on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I did not expect you to say that. That's a good one, dude.
Yeah. My sister said root for No Face because we should show respect to people, or for him, for binge eating so shamelessly.
Yes, agreed.
Nice.
Agreed.
Because I was asking her for, like, can you think of anything? She's like, No Face. I was like, why? He's like, because he wants to eat a lot. I mean, I gotta respect him.
Guys, I just realized this is gonna be like the longest episode we've ever done.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta get. I hate to be. Wait, can I be Mitsuki right now? Hey guys, you gotta get through this episode. It's been going on for 1,000,000 hours.
All right, so we're gonna take another news break. I swear I'm not gonna go run and grab beer because I have some. Before we go on the news break, we have an in-show weekly trivia question.
I got this. Okay.
Go.
So in the show Katana Gatari, Togame has a habit of saying this phrase when hitting Shichika. What is that phrase? And we'll answer it after the break.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's me, Tsugi. I'm back yet again. I wouldn't let you down. It's time for more of that great anime news. Leading us off, well, BTS, the ridiculously popular boy band group from Korea, has stepped in some shit, it looks like. The TV Asahi Corp said that it canceled a live performance by the K-pop group recently because of a controversial t-shirt that was worn by Jimin, one of the members of the group. The shirt commemorates the day that the Korean peninsula was liberated from Japanese rule in 1945, but it's actually the design of the t-shirt that has got people pissed off, I guess, as the design is showing the photo of an atomic bomb exploding over Japan, which is clearly extremely tasteless and has pissed off a lot of Japanese people. So not a good look for BTS, and definitely want to tighten that up in the future. Next up, Mirai screenings are continuing of Mamoru Hosoda's film. Looks like they are going to have screenings all throughout November 9th, November 12th, and November 14th in London's Prince Charles Cinema. They're also going to be showing the film elsewhere as well, and I think that this is a push to get it more credible and reliable as a nomination for the Oscars, which is going to be coming up, of course, this next year. The 100-minute film opened at number 2 in the box office in Japan on July 20th, and it, of course, is a film that is eligible to be nominated for an Oscar, so we're going to have to look out and see if that actually comes to pass as they finish up their nominations. And next up, Square Enix reports an initial loss on the Luminous production studio for AAA games. The loss was 3.7 billion yen, or $33 million, over the 6-month period that ended September 30th. The company said the reason for the loss was the decision to focus on large-scale, high-quality AAA games, which I guess wasn't what was the most profitable option. Square Enix established the studio in March with the aim of developing AAA titles and making innovative games for people to play. So they had not really announced any more specific game titles, but Final Fantasy XV director Hajime Tabata is leading Luminous Productions, and many of the other staff members who worked on Final Fantasy XV will also join the studio. So Square Enix looks like a very successful company, but not successful in all areas. And lastly, Socrates in Love. Artist Kazumi Kazai is starting a new manga in March. This was announced in the December issue of Shogakukan's Petit Kama magazine. So it did not reveal the title for the new series, but hinted that it's going to be a romance story. The manga will launch in the magazine on April 2019. So if you're a fan of Socrates in Love or Kazumi Kazui, she is going to be putting out a new manga in Shogakukan's Comic Petit. So if you are a fan of that, look out for that, and maybe you want to pick up a copy of that magazine when it comes out next year. This was me, Tsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, yet again, time to get back to the podcast.
Now that we're getting to our main podcast topic, I just so happen to have found this perfect...
Let me guess, another list?
Well, kinda. Not just any list, though. The greatest list to ever grace the internet.
Go on.
It's J-List, baby.
Did somebody say J-List?
That's right, my little Peruvian Pocky box.
What is...
Exactly. You like boxes, right?
I don't even...
Bingo! Everybody loves boxes. You know why people love boxes?
I don't know.
Great point, Enzo. Because boxes have things in them, and J-List boxes have tasty things in them.
What kind of...
I agree, Enzo. A wise man once said, life is like a J-List snack box. You never know what you're going to get, except you do. Snacks from Japan.
Hold on, are you telling me that...
If you go to jlist.com, you can sign up for the monthly snack box and get all kinds of delicious treats from the land of the rising sun.
Oh, man, I better...
Go, Enzo. Go now. Don't wait. Don't speak. Go to jlist.com and make your sweet candy dreams come true. You're welcome.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
Do they make reverse kotatsus? A kotatsu that is cooling instead of heating. Just be like, I'm just gonna sit underneath here and chill my balls, you know?
That's called a refrigerator.
Oh, Yeah, I don't
Let's
know.
go to a refrigerator.
Putting my balls in your refrigerator.
Just open your refrigerator, stick your leg up on like the countertop with your balls just like hanging free.
One day you're gonna walk into your kitchen and you're just gonna see my bare ass sticking out of your fridge.
Your 14-year-old daughter comes home with her friend from school, and Dad is just sitting in the kitchen with his hairy ass and his balls hanging down in front of the fridge. Like, Dad, not again!
No, he's sitting on the floor in the living room, and he's brought the fridge with him, and he's like laid it down on top of his body.
Just chilling
Come,
himself.
let's sit around the reverse kotatsu together, children.
Oh, Lord's in heaven.
That would be amazing.
Can it be a father-son edition where the son is on a platform?
That's the advertisement.
And he's cooling his balls too on in the freezer.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then you have the kid standing underneath.
So the dad's balls are hanging on top of the little kid.
Oh,
They're not touching them.
It's kind of like an intimate tea bag.
Yeah, he's going under the bridge.
And now, back to the podcast.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to whatever the hell episode this is of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast.
I don't even know anymore, man.
447, I think.
What am I? What is this? What is life?
What is this?
How do I stop this music?
So,
Yeah.
before the break, we had a question, our trivia question, and the question was, in the show Katanagatari, Togame has a habit of saying this phrase when hitting Shichika. Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I don't know how to stop music.
What is this phrase? The answer is Chirio!
Chirio!
I should probably also take down the news break image from the... God damn it.
Yeah.
That was for Manga Club. I was told there weren't enough Cheerios on the show.
There's never enough Cheerios.
No, never enough.
Never enough.
All right. So what do we have here? Hey, guys.
Hey!
Guess what?
Hi!
We have a 5-star review.
It's time for iTunes review.
All right. Of course, you can always head on over to iTunes, find us on there, leave us a 5-star review, help us maintain our lead, our grip around the throat of anime podcasting. Join us, and together we shall rule the anime podcasting galaxy.
Yes.
So, just like YDNA David did. So YDNA David left us a 5-star review on iTunes. He said, "So much anime. I grew up watching a few anime like Dragon Ball Z, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Inuyasha. In the past couple years, I picked it up again and started getting more and more into it. After starting this podcast, I've realized how many good anime are still out there that I need to watch. I appreciate everything you guys and gals do for us listeners, and especially appreciate how consistent you are. Consistently terrible. I listen to... Sorry, he didn't say that. I said that. I listen to many podcasts working third shift, and this is the only one I can rely on supplying entertainment every week. Thank you so much once again." Dude, thank you, David.
Thank you so much, but
much.
just to warn you, there won't be any next week.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure something out.
We will be in New York.
Yeah, we'll be in New York. Maybe we'll record a one-off thing or something, but who's to say?
Maybe.
But in all summation of everything, we are so glad that like you are gaining some enjoyment, some relief of stress through our ridiculous conversations. On
Maybe some laughing.
Maybe I hope you laugh.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe he feels like, man, at least I'm cooler than these guys.
This is a very serious show. There is no laughing.
Oh,
yeah,
right. No goals at all.
Yeah, no goals, nothing. So in that theme, let's move on to the next section. Yes.
All right. Today we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
All right, so we've got to conclude our impressions for the fall of anime 2018.
If we want to get in time, we've got 5 minutes.
No, we're not. No, look, Mandy.
No, that's definitely not happening.
Mandy, I'm going to need you to look. You're going to have to let that go.
Mandy,
Okay.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go.
Just
It's
let
not
it go.
happening.
All right.
I can. So I have only one on here. I can go first, and then you guys can forth.
Well, no. Let's mix yours in so that way we're not doing like 2 in a row and stuff like that.
Okay. Sure.
So I guess I'll start off since first on the list there. So what do I have here? Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. So this anime is brought to you by, I should have probably looked this up first, brought to you by Cloverworks. That's the studio that's working on it. And they have also worked on, I really should have looked this up first, Darling in the Franxx, which is something.
It's definitely an anime.
It's you could say it's an anime.
Most would say that it's an anime.
It was actually very popular.
Stalling.
What?
I love the stalling as you look it up.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you. So yeah, the same studio that worked on Darling in the Franxx. I'll read you the synopsis real quick. So what do they call it? Adolescent syndrome. It says here on the synopsis puberty syndrome, but that's not what they call it in the anime. So adolescent syndrome, abnormal experiences rumored on the internet to be caused by sensitivity and instability during adolescence. So this is something that exists in this world. This year, Sakata Asagawa, a second-year student at a high school near Enoshima, meets several girls that are experiencing this, quote, adolescent syndrome. For instance, and this is what happens in the first 3 episodes, he meets a wild bunny girl in the library, a girl dressed in a bunny outfit. She turns out to be an actress on hiatus, a child actress, Mai Sakurajima, who is also his senior at the school. For some reason, no one else can see this enchanting girl. How did she become invisible? As Sakuta searches for answers to help Mai, they spend more time together, and he eventually learns of her hidden feelings. And I guess his feelings. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, the rest of that synopsis doesn't matter. So, yeah, it's this high school kid meets a girl at a library, and she's dressed in this bunny outfit, and he's like, what the hell is this? And so he approaches her, and turns out the reason she's dressed in the bunny outfit is because nobody can see her, and so she expects that she's invisible, except he can see her for whatever reason. And they kind of form this relationship, and he's trying to figure out how to get her visible again, I guess, both literally and figuratively. She was a child actress who was kind of manipulated in her youth, and so because of that, she has kind of shut herself off from the world around her, and she stopped acting, and she stopped talking to her mother, and she stopped kind of like going out and all that, being social. And so because of this, she has literally become invisible. And so he's trying to like break her out of that. And this is all happening in the first 3 episodes. I feel like the first 3 episodes have like a complete story in them. I haven't seen anything beyond that. But it certainly kind of comes full circle and has a conclusion in the end of the first 3. So if you want to watch just that, you'll get something out of it. This show, this one's difficult for me to review because I really like the concept. I really appreciate what they're trying to do with the show, and kind of the, I guess, what would you call it? Like an allegory or something of, the feeling left out and feeling shut off from society, and then it literally making you invisible. So I appreciate what they're doing there. But my biggest issues with it are the writing. Like, I don't like how they write the characters. I feel like when I was watching the show, a lot of times I kept thinking to myself, these character interactions seem as if they were written by someone who doesn't know how to interact with other humans. Like, the things that they would say to each other did not fit and did not seem right in the moment. So it really kind of took me out of the experience. I was trying to like allow myself to get involved with the characters and like sucked into the world, but it kept pulling me out because I'd be like, why would they say that? Nobody would ever say that. Or why would they do this thing? It doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of like my major issue with it. I almost wish that we did impressions on more than just the first 3 episodes, but because I want to see where it was going to go after the first 3. But just based on that segment that I watched, it's right on the cusp for me, but I don't think I'm gonna be passing Bunny Girl Senpai. So fail drop.
You shall not pass!
All right, there we go. So yeah, this one was again right on the cusp. The concept interested me, but it wasn't executed well enough, in my opinion. If it sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check it out. But we have other shows that I think are better, so we're not gonna be passing this one.
I would say because I've been enjoying this anime more than I
Same.
thought I would.
100%. I was like, this is an Enzo show.
100%. I will say that it is. I was saying to Kazuo Man earlier, I think it's like it's like if you like Haruhi Suzumiya and like Monogatari, it's like kind of right in the middle. There's a lot of pseudoscience talk. There's a lot of just like witty back and forth dialogue. I personally love the way that Mai and the main character talk to each other because it's fun. It's like finally like those quote unquote rare anime where like the male lead, yes, he says like pervy things, but he's not like completely like sex crazed and like shy to talk to a girl. That's refreshing. I've watched more than 3 episodes, so I can say that it is kind of like after story arc gets resolved for girl A, girl B shows up, and then it's a story arc for girl B. I also don't think. Huh?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say that it's so she's not consistent throughout the show. Like it's different girls every time.
No, so she is consistent, but like the story revolves around a different girl for like the next 3 episodes.
It's I've seen a ton of people comparing it to Monogatari. I totally understand that. The way the main characters interact with each other reminds me a lot of Araragi and
Senjogahara.
Yeah, Senjogahara. But as far as like the supernatural part, it's a lot different because adolescent, what's it called? Not puberty syndrome.
Adolescence syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one seems more like it's caused by stress on what is going on in their lives, where in Monogatari it's an actual being that possesses them after like unconsciously calling out to them.
See, and that's
like,
what interests me about the show.
Yeah.
Like I like the whole adolescent syndrome and seeing how these different experiences and emotional reactions are going to manifest themselves. Like that interests me. Like I want to see that. But I just it wasn't keeping my attention because it kept, like as I said, it kept pulling me out. So
yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe
but yeah, and then it goes into like the whole Monogatari thing where like, so this main girl, we got main girl. He's definitely with main girl, but there are going to be other like side girls that he's going to help out.
Side pieces.
Right. Yeah. I think the characters are actually more mature than the usual type of casting for the show, but I also don't think I would have passed it because I like Mai and the main guy so much that I don't like that the anime is not going to revolve around them going forward. So
maybe it'll get listener choice. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Sorry, we went on way too long for this one. I just wanted to get 2 cents on it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's a very
Can we do
popular
next?
show. Yeah, go ahead, Mandy.
All right, so I'm going to do Hashiri Tsuzukete Yokattatte next. And that one, the English translation is I'm glad I could keep running. It's by Signal MD, who also brought us MMO Junkie. Spoiler for this impression, I can't pass it.
Wow.
And the reason for that is because when I originally did my picks, there was not a whole lot of information out on this. It was all that was available was the synopsis and the PV, and I chose it based off that because I thought it looked really pretty, and I like shows about voice acting or just the topic. But I didn't know it was only going to be 4 episodes, and those 4 episodes were only going to be 15 minutes each, and that's including the OP and ED. So the entire show is less than an hour's content, and that's not enough for us to get a proper conversation on, I don't think. But that doesn't mean I think it's not worth checking out. Our protagonist, Minato Suyama, was originally studying to become an actor. He gets dragged to a live anime voice acting event and is sucked in by their performance. And after this, he decides that he wants to become a voice actor. So he moves into an old dorm apartment, and man, I can't talk today. So sorry. An old dorm apartment to attend a voice acting school, and finds a flash drive inside of an old desk. And plugging it into his computer, here's a message specifically for the new attendant. And it's a girl wishing the new person luck in chasing their dreams. in the Nagaya's academy, Ryota invites him to a bar that he works at where a lot of students go to give live readings on stage. And over there, he hears a familiar voice. It ends up being the girl from the flash drive. Her name is Chikako, and she's outside practicing. So they strike up a conversation. Minato tells her that he moved into her old apartment. And so this starts up like a friendship. And we learn that each of them have difficulties in voice acting. Minato overacts everything, while Chikako is suffering from stage fright. And together they start to practice and encourage one another. And the series has some really nice character designs. Everything has a softness to it, and the colors really pop, and it has a bit of a shoujo feel to it, like with the sparkles and bubbles that we saw in like MMO Junkie. And they did choose a couple of very popular seiyuu for the male roles, Jun Fukuyama and Kosuke Toriumi. But the main girl, who is the one who's struggling the most in the series, is voiced by a brand new seiyuu, Iori Noguchi, which I thought was an interesting casting choice, that they chose the one who's struggling the most with stage fright to be a brand new voice actress. And I wonder if there's like a reason behind that. But all I can excuse me, all I can really say is if you have an interest in voice acting like I do, this is a very quick and interesting watch. But if you have zero interest in voice acting, there's not really anything here for you. It doesn't have a whole lot of time to develop characters, so they focus on the voice acting itself, with their practicing and encouraging each other. But if it turned into a full series, I would love it. Or hopefully it'll like spark something new. But yeah, I have to fail it because there's not enough content. But also, I did watch 3 episodes of Double Decker, and while I think Double Decker is hilarious, and Double Decker was my backup. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, but I still probably wouldn't have passed it for reasons.
Oh, sorry. Accidentally hit the button. Continue.
Shame for continuing. But I probably still wouldn't have passed it. But if you want something really funny that's kind of like an old buddy, like an old cop duo show, you check out Double Decker.
All right.
Shame.
We'll continue with that drop.
Shame.
Yes, let it play.
Shame.
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 How long is this drop? Okay, that's it.
Only as long as you let it keep going.
I don't know.
So next would be me, I guess.
Yes.
And I'm going to be talking about Sono toki kanojo wa. And this one is similar to how Mandy had to preface her with the anime she just talked about. This one I also picked solely based on synopsis and the promo picture because there was no information on it. And it turns out that this is a anime that 3-minute episodes. And I don't know what the 3-minute episodes. I don't know how many episodes are in total. I've watched up to episode 4. But the anime is an episode per girl. There's 4 girls, and each at different points in their lives regarding love and like feelings and infatuation. When I pressed play on the first episode, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the art style is very out of the box. It's not usual. It's very watercolory and transparent. A lot of loose colors, not very solid, not many solid lines. It's pretty not standard, and I enjoy it though. It's not, to me, it was not standard in a good way. I like the dialogue in it too. It's just unfortunate because it's not something that I would want to spend podcast time on. I know that sounds weird to say, but it's something that, like, listeners, like, if you guys want to try this anime out, and it's literally just 3-minute episodes about different women from their point in life and what like love is to them at that point in life. Like the first episode, for example, is about a girl. A girl in high school. She has a crush on a guy that sits by the window, and this guy is always daydreaming out the window. And every day she wonders, like, what is he looking at? What has him so captivated that he's always looking out this window? So one day, the class is empty. I don't know, there's in between periods or something. She goes to this guy's desk and sits there and like mimics him, like staring out the window. Then the guy walks in, and he starts giggling and saying, like, "What are you doing in my seat? Like, you look like me or whatever." And she was like, "Well, I've always just wondered like what it is that you look at that keeps you so captivated." And it's just stuff like that, just super like shorts that really have no like proper endings. Just it feels like just like 3-minute episodes where there's snippets of conversation where these girls are experiencing, love and all whatever love means, right? So I like it. I really do. I'm going to finish it. I like the art, the dialogue, though minimal because of 3-minute limitation. Is compelling, and music's really calming. So
Enzo,
I will be. What's up?
What is love?
Love is.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Love is,
No
love
more.
is no more. No more. Yeah, so I like this show. I'm only failing at just for like logistical purposes, not really because I don't like it. So yeah, try it out. Sono toki kanojo out if you want it.
Did they live happily ever after?
Of course, Elizabeth.
What a pile of shit.
I love that drop. I'm trying to find the most fail appropriate drops for all the ones that we're failing. So like some of them I don't want to be too harsh with because it's like, all right, we're failing it, but whatever. It's not that bad. So, all right, I guess I'll go next. And then Mandy, you'll be the last one. The final. All right. So I will be doing impressions on an anime by the name of Boarding School Juliet. So the story takes place at Grigio Academy boarding school, where students come from two rivaling countries, known as countries. I didn't realize they were coming from different countries. All right.
I like the realization just now.
Yeah, I'm like, what? They were different. Really? All right. I get they were just. I thought there were just two different groups at the school. I didn't realize they were from different countries. So it's a private school. There's two groups. One is known as the Black Dogs, and the other is known as the White Cats.
Oh man, come on now.
Yeah, I know. So Persia and Inuzuka are the leaders of their respective dorms, but they are secretly in love with each other. Now they must keep their relationship a secret from other dorm mates while trying to avoid trouble. This show is brought to you by the studio Linden Films, which has worked on, what is this? Yamada-kun to Seven Nin no Mai. I don't know what the hell that. Oh, they worked on
Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches?
Yes. Arslan Senki, Koito Uso, Berserk, the new Berserk, which is terrible. They worked on a bunch of stuff. So, and the director is Seiki Takuno, who has also directed Koito Uso, which is Love and Lies. What else here? He's done a bunch of episode director work. Sekko Boys. I don't know what the hell
Heck
that is.
yes!
Don't know what that is.
The best idol anime.
Oh boy. So
I'm telling you, the Rockies are coming up, man.
Oh jeez. So this show, you have a male and female character. They're going to the same school, rival groups at that school, and of course they fall for each other. It's hard to say too much about this show because there's not a lot of depth to it. It's just two characters. It's a Romeo and Juliet story, kind of. It's Romeo and Juliet in a slapsticky anime format. Like, they have just silly jokes throughout the show, with mainly based around the failing of their attempts to go on dates and things like that. Like, they'll try to go on dates, and one of them will have to dress up in a costume or in a disguise so that they don't know that it's the person from the rival group. At one point, another girl finds out that they're kind of involved, and she is kind of like not in love, but infatuated with the main female character. And so she's upset that dude is taking her attention away from her, and she kind of like uses that to force him, that knowledge that they're together, to force him to kind of like be her manservant, even though she's on the other team. So it's kind of like super humiliating, and he doesn't want to let the girl that he loves know, even though he's trying to prove to her that he loves her. So it's a lot of these awkward kind of like slapstick situations. It's okay. I mean, this show is like, for me is like the definition of mediocre. Like, it's all right. It's nothing special. It's nothing you haven't seen before. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people are watching it, and I totally understand that. If you're new to anime and it sounds like something that excites you, check it out. But aside from that, I feel like I feel like it's a filler anime. Like, you have filler arcs. This is just a filler anime. Like they had a time slot they had to fill this season, and they're like, I guess we'll just let's do this. Let's throw this in there. So yeah, I will be failing boarding school Juliet. Now I have to find an appropriate drop. Let's try this one.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Yeah, I feel like that fits. So yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, Mandy, you're up next.
My last one is Tsurune. I'm gonna try to make this as fast as I possibly can. I got a lot to say. Sorry. So Tsurune is a light novel adaptation of KyoAni, and it's a sports show about Kyudo. Kyudo is a very traditional form of archery that is only practiced in Japan. The story centers around Minato, who used to love archery. He's just starting high school and for some reason wants nothing to do with the sport anymore. Some of his other classmates are attempting to resurrect the school's previously dead Kyudo club. We have the Tsundere Kaito, only one who takes the sport seriously. The overly Genki Kisaragi, the club president Seiya, and the Minato's kind neighbor Ryohei. And I wrote, if it's starting to sound like free, you're not wrong. The characters do all feel like common tropes right at the beginning. Kaito could be a Rin. Minato could be like a brooding Haru. I mean, they're all, yeah. But I think the only character we don't have in this free is Rei. But so when the other characters start putting pressure on Minato to join the resurrected Kyoto club, Minato flat out tells him that he can't. Before coming to high school, Minato experienced target panic, which during a competition and lost a match. And target panic is actually a real condition where a person accidentally releases the string too early during the draw. And it can affect anyone from professionals to hunters to people who just shoot for recreational purposes. It's a psychological fear of failure. And normally it's solved with something called a handheld bow release. And if I had a camera, I'd show you mine. I have two of them actually. It's like a strap that wraps around your wrist and has like a little mechanism that goes across your palm and latches onto the string. And when you pull back the bow, there's a little trigger there. You can pull the trigger. So that way you can't accidentally release the bowstring without pulling that trigger. However, Kyudo is a very traditional sport. They wear hakumas and use a traditional glove called a yugakke, which is worn on the right hand and usually made of deer skin. So Minato doesn't have the option to use something like a hand release. So he feels like his target panic cannot be cured. And but that's not all. He's also dealing with the loss of his mother, which could also have some sort of cause for his target panic. But in the second episode, Minato meets a man shooting at the range who seems almost otherworldly in his appearance. The entire scene with him is really gorgeous, with the moon shining down the scene. The arena is surrounded by cherry blossoms. This man, Masaki, who also has a pet owl, but they strike up a conversation and he begins to rekindle Minato's love for archery. And Masaki also used to struggle from target panic and tells Minato that it isn't something someone can just overcome overnight. It's not possible. But there are ways around it. And what I really liked is that Minato's stubborn insistence on not joining the club wasn't drawn out. By the end of the third episode, he joins the club and even starts showing up early every day to practice, so he could just practice more than the others. I know there's a lot of people saying it's a free clone, and they're not wrong. The characters do feel a lot like free characters, but there are things in this that I think personally would make me enjoy this a lot more than free. And first, Kyudo is not a segregated sport. There are girls in the club, and they have more presence than Ko did in free. Now I know in the third episode they're wanting to create a boys team for competitions, but I still think the women in the show have a possibility. I can't read the future, so possibility of appearing more often. It seems like they've given all of them, like, they all have names, they all have their own personalities, so I think that they're going to show up more often. Second, Kyoto is constantly showing this, or Kyoto is constantly being shown in the show. So even when the characters are talking to each other, someone is shooting in the background, or there's sporting equipment out. And they're putting an emphasis on the sport, which I think is something that I felt Free didn't do. Because Free was far more about the characters and about the sport of swimming. And lastly, and this is like...
If by characters you mean abs.
Muscles, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. But lastly, and this is 100% selfish, I just want to learn more about Kyoto. I'm fascinated by how they draw the bow down instead of up. Because like in this sport, they raise the bow above their heads, or raise the bow above their heads, and as they lower it down as they draw, which seems incredibly difficult to me because we keep the bow pointed at the ground,
right?
And you pull it back as you lift up to like your fingers are at the corner of your mouth. And after watching the first 3 episodes, it actually inspired me to look more into Kyoto, which is something that Free didn't do for me. I wasn't looking up stuff on swimming. I saw some videos online of classes using wooden horses to shoot from. So I'm hoping that's also something that they put in the show. I'm hoping they expand on it. But, all that is subjective. I obviously have more of an interest in archery than swimming. Not everyone's going to feel the same way. But as far as the story itself, I think it has potential because the 3rd episode really focuses on the characters and laid out the groundwork for relationships. Kaito, the little hot-headed asshole, is starting to warm up to Minato, and so their little rivalry is still there, but it's starting to develop into more of like a mutual respect for one another, and Minato is starting to refuse letting his condition keep him back. We also meet a new rival from another school, and I think overall the main conflict is going to be watching Minato overcome his target panic while also having that being tied to overcoming the death of his mother. So this whole passing thing has been really awkward because Tsurune was delayed for a while because of her I think it was hurricanes in Japan. So I can't remember if it's hurricane or tsunami, but either one.
Well,
was it? Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't think technically they have hurricanes in Japan.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a tsunami, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I know it was delayed. It's the 3rd episode didn't till last week, so I still had no idea if I was passing it yet. So it came down between this and Bunny Girl, and after Kazu and I talked, I decided I'm going to pass Tsurune.
You know what? Correction. Is it typhoon? What is the other form of... I'm sorry.
Was it ice?
Doesn't matter. We said tsunami, but tsunami is the wave of water that comes. I think it's a typhoon.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it was delayed.
I know it's way off topic, but I'm like, I don't want. I just know that if I say something dumb, I'm gonna get a million like messages and tweets and stuff being like, "Oh, actually, it's a typhoon." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm not a freaking meteorologist. I don't care."
Oh.
All right. So this one is passing. You said?
Yes.
Oh,
it was a typhoon. Sorry, you're right.
Wait. Oh, and boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite.
It was a typhoon, and Bertman said that Kyoto got flooded.
Oh, damn. Dude.
Drawing down is easier? It sounds so painful.
Drawing down? I don't know. I did some archery growing up, and I always, obviously you draw up. That's what you do. I don't know. Dude, I made a critical error, guys.
Yeah, what's up?
I did not pee when I had the chance. And I have to pee so bad right now. I'm going to have to hold it.
Are you going to explode?
No, it's fine. I'll just pee on the floor. It's Mitsuki's apartment.
Are we still doing mailbags?
I don't think we have time to do mailbags.
Guys, we have all the time we need.
We got this.
Okay.
We started late. It's barely been 2 hours. And on that note, if I can find the drop, hold please. Damn it.
Yeah, we just gotta.
I don't.
Gotta stall.
How's your day going?
So yeah.
If you cuts out all the stalling today, I wonder if this episode is actually on time.
Hold on, it's around here somewhere.
I'm playing a lot of
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag.
There it is.
Yeah.
Anime.
Mailbag.
Oh yeah. Oh God. All right.
Read the first one.
Of course, you can leave us a mailbag by going to the website AAAPodcast.com. At the top of the screen, just click on the mailbag button and drop us a line. Just like... Rock Around the World.
This.
Rock Around the World. Yeah.
I see. It's all like together and it's misspelled. It's weird.
It looks weird, but yeah.
All right,
Were
so
you thinking Rockar Around the World?
Yeah, basically. So Rock Around the World says, "Hey, AAA team, a few weeks back, I asked a question regarding the passing of Takahata, in which Mitsugi said he appreciated the writer, him, okay, because I had mentioned Now and Then Here and There as an anime I found to have a pretty strong impact on me during my watch. He said he appreciated that I listened to him, and he was right. I got that recommendation directly from him, as well as Monster, another amazing show I never would have heard of otherwise. Both are easily in my top 10 animes I've watched, hands down. My question is, what are other shows, movies, or OVAs the team loves that are, quote, hidden masterpieces, namely shows that are not widely discussed among the majority of the community, or are deep within my anime list, but are absolute must-watches? Also, happy to see this as a topic if it's too long for a mailbag. I don't think it is. Thanks, guys. Please keep making my addiction worse, and thanks, Anime Pope."
I got one. I always say that The Great Passage is a masterpiece.
Yes.
That literally I don't think anyone about. It is a beautifully crafted show. It takes its time, but in a very, very genuine and caring way. All the characters are good. They're rounded super well. The drama is literally about this show is about a team writing a dictionary, and I cried.
Which sounds like the most boring thing in the world.
Exactly. It sounds like the most boring thing in the world, but you give the show a shot. You become invested in the emotions and motivations of these characters, and I personally cried like twice watching this show.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's animated so gorgeously, and yeah, I wish this is one of those animes that I wish I could just forget that I saw and see it again to feel it all over. So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, that's an amazing show. God, that's such a good one. And it is so, because I remember when I watched that, I think that was one that Chiaki passed. And
yes,
so starting it out, I was like, a show about writing a dictionary, this is going to be the most boring thing in the world. And it gets to a point, especially towards the end, where something happens to a character that you're like, God damn. And it is so like beautiful, because it's all about, the show is about passion. It's about having a passion for something and seeing it through to the end, no matter what like life throws at you in the process. And it's just, it's so beautiful. That's a really good one.
Mine, I had two of them. I had Kaiba, which I have talked about previously on an episode. Kaiba is an original Wasa. It's like in a world where people can store memories on these chips, and you can take the chip out and put it into a new body, and so like your consciousness kind of moves over into that body, and leaving your current one pretty much a shell. And so some people who are like, the entire world, like everyone is different. Some people like the rich want to buy new bodies, and then people who are kind of like lower class, they are willing to like have their chip removed and their bodies sold to people who want their bodies. It's a really wild and very abstract show. It's definitely trippy. You can definitely try that out. And then there's Kubikiri Cycle, which was actually last year, but hardly anyone talked about it. And that was a Shaft murder mystery, which I really enjoyed. But so yeah, both of those are very trippy though. So if you're not into that kind of stuff, maybe don't try them out. But if you want something really wild, check them out.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend two that are popular amongst certain people, but I feel like not the general populace. One is just a fun show, and it is called Detroit Metal City. I don't know, have either of you seen this?
Oh yeah, do that.
Detroit Metal City is awesome. It's so badass. It's a show about a boy who is kind of like he is in a heavy metal band similar to like Kiss. Death metal. Yeah, it's like, and they wear makeup and stuff, and they're like, all their songs are just the most vile, like hostile, like death metal type songs you could possibly imagine. And he's in this band, and they're incredibly successful. But he has a love for, what is it? It's like
it's like French indie music.
No, it's like Swedish pop music or something like that. You know,
Swedish pop. Yeah,
I think it's Swedish pop music. Yeah, so which is just like acoustic guitar and like, you know, happy love songs and stuff. Like he is just so passionate about that, but he can't express it because he's in this death metal band. And so like on his free time, he likes to perform and do that. And it is hilarious. Like the show is amazing, and it's just so fun to watch, and you can't help but love that main character, and all the characters in the show are so cool, and the music is great.
Could he play the guitar with his teeth?
Oh yeah, he plays the guitar with his teeth. Like it's awesome, and it's him trying to like juggle these two worlds. It's so great. So that was the first thing that came to my mind. The second,
it is short too, really short.
Yeah. How short is it? It's like 6 episodes. No,
it's 12 episodes, 13 minutes each.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're half episodes.
I never added this to my anime list. I would.
Oh, it's so good. So that one's on my list. Another one that's on my list. I feel like everybody knows this, but nobody freaking watches it, and it drives me crazy. And we brought it up many times on the show before, but it's Lupin. Like every season that a Lupin show comes out, I look at my anime list and I see that no one is watching it, and it drives me crazy because this is one of like the best. I mean, like if you go to Japan, everyone knows Lupin. Lupin's everywhere. When we went last time, Coco Ichiban had like Lupin stuff all over the place, and they had like a you know, some kind of raffle thing going on. It's for good reason. Like it's such a good freaking show, but just for some reason in the West, like people aren't watching it. I don't know why. But yeah, so please, if nothing else, please just watch Lupin. All right, take this from me. Watch that show, and you will enjoy it. I guarantee it. All right. God damn it, we're so.
Do we want to mention Mitsuki's because he?
Did he write? Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so he wrote Mugen Wasuke Survive, which is a show. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Nope.
Mugen Wasuke Survive. It's I don't know, maybe like 10 or so years old. It's a show about a group of kids that are on like a spaceship, and they get stranded on another planet, and they have to, survive. I think actually Mugen Wasuke means like another world. So it's like literally another world survive. So they have to, it's like a Robinson Crusoe type thing where it's like you have to build a place to live, and you have to build a way to get food and stuff like that. And it's actually pretty cool. And it's a lot of fun. It's a really good show. So he's got that on there. He's got Magnetic Rose, which is a masterpiece.
The first ones were really good.
The first, yeah. Well,
I think the first one was my favorite out of
them. Well, hold on now. Magnetic Rose is the first one.
Right.
You're thinking of the series, which includes Cannon Fodder and oh god, what's it called? The one with the sickness that the dude gets. Crap, I can't remember.
He takes the drug that makes him super stinky and it kills people.
Oh, Stink Bomb. Stink Bomb. That's what it was
Stink
called.
Bomb. That was it.
So yeah, Magnetic Rose. It's one of 3 like kind of episodes in this series.
But the thing is called Memories.
Called Memories, yeah. And they're all like directed and written by different people. Well, actually, directed by different people, written by the same guy.
Right.
And Magnetic Rose is about a couple of guys that are like garbage men, kind of like scavenger type guys in space, and so they go around and collect just leftovers from like abandoned stuff and broken down ships and things like that, and they stumble upon kind of like this I guess it's a ship or something, or a space base, I don't know, and they go in to explore because there's an SOS signal coming out from it, and it gets real trippy real fast, and it is a kind of like psychological horror. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's insanely good.
It's really good.
Yeah. The other 2 parts of Memories are okay. Stink Bomb is ridiculously goofy. So I would recommend that. I actually have not seen Cannon Fodder, but I hear it's actually really good. I have to watch that at some point. So, but yeah, Magnetic Rose is on there. He also put the Read or Die OVA, which I have not seen. I don't know if either of you have seen Read or Die.
Same, I have not.
Damn. All right. But yeah, Read or Die, I know about it. I've seen parts of it, but I don't know enough to really tell you much. But Read or Die OVA on his list as well.
Do we want to keep going, or do you just want to read the last one?
We definitely cannot.
All right.
Sorry,
Enzo,
we're so
freaking
over.
party pooper over here.
I mean, I got nothing going on.
Yeah, same. We got things to do. You got things to do, Enzo? You got places to be?
To do, friend. I do.
All right, fine. We'll go ahead and read the last one, Enzo, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, we are doing the last one. Okay.
I guess. Me and Grandpa Enzo over here has to go freaking have his
Fortnite.
Oh, that's what it is.
I think I'll do work after this. Anyway, Icero says, "Hello, AAA host. Have you ever played a game or read a book and thought, as much as I love this could never work as anything other than a game book because either the story or experience is so intrinsically tied to its original medium and adapting it would cause too much to be lost in translation? What stories have you read, played that look like they could lend themselves to being anime? Do you think what? That could they look like they could lend themselves to being anime. Do you think actually wouldn't work as an anime? And conversely, what anime do you think could only work as anime and would make a terrible game, manga, book? I know what Ice Rose is trying to say, but Ice Rose, come on, man.
I think that makes sense.
It does. It makes sense, Ice Rose.
So
I feel like we've got
be a good topic. So I wrote down a whole lot of stuff. The last one was actually one that I was hoping you'd read because that has that one wasn't like a question. But for this one, oh man, I'm so sorry. I wrote down a whole because I know of a lot of
maybe we could just save that one for a topic.
That would be good.
Because you wrote a freaking book.
I did. There's a lot of them.
And that is a question that I think we've gotten a lot of times before. So I think that would make a really good topic. Let's I guess you said the last one's not a question, so I guess we just read it real quick.
Right.
Did you want to read it? Or?
Oh yeah. So Chili Boy writes, "What's up, guys? Just wanted to say I am more recent subscriber to the podcast, having only discovered it about 4 months ago. But I've listened to every episode since then and can't get enough. Keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, I wanted to see if I could ask for some travel." Oh, this is a question. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
It's been a dream of mine to go to Japan for as long as I can remember, and I'm planning on going with 2 of my friends in a year or 2. I wanted to fully immerse myself in the culture, and even more so, wanted to check out all the anime hotspots. Do you have any suggestions on where we should definitely plan on going, or things to make sure we do? Of course, we'll be devouring some more ramen, more ramen than Naruto, and hopefully can bring back some cooking tips for Kazuo. Not sure when you'll get to this, if ever, but I appreciate it. So we could just list off stuff that we did in Japan.
Yeah, and also I will tell you this. Chili Boy, email Mitsugi, and he will send you a full itinerary for a Japan trip. So
this is definitely a Mitsugi question.
Yeah, and he's done this before, and he's got a whole itinerary put together. So it's Mitsugi, MITSUGI at Gmail, or not Gmail, at AAAPodcast.com. Is that our email address, guys?
Yes, it is.
So email Mitsugi. Look, I don't know about you, but I've been chugging beers here to appease the fans. Okay?
To appease the fans.
I'm about to crack open my 5th one in the past hour. Okay?
Gotcha.
I'm dead.
Well done.
What's happening?
So thank you for writing in, Chili Boy. Wait, what did he want us to list some of our favorite stuff from Japan? I guess?
Yeah, what did we enjoy doing in Japan? So if you want Anime Central, definitely go to Akihabara.
You could spend.
Go to Akiba, eat all the ramen ever, do karaoke with friends.
Yes. Definitely check out one of the hot
Fushimi Inari.
Or onsens.
Yeah, Fushimi Inari and go to the bathhouse.
I personally did not like the bathhouse. It was interesting for about 30 minutes, and then I was like, okay.
It's gonna be up to what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, and what you find fun. Like I wasn't comfortable at first, but then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm here. But then it was ultimately for me, I was like, I'm not having fun in here. I could be out looking at cool stuff. So it just depends on the person. for me, one of my favorite things about Japan, outside of what you guys have already said, is just the food. There's so much freaking good food, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned Koko Ichiban earlier, and oh my god, Koko Ichiban.
Whatever that place was in Ikebukuro that we went to, it was really good.
Udon shop? Yeah, that was
dude.
awesome.
Yeah.
Udon shop.
You mean random udon shop that you can find all over the place, but they're all amazing.
Had amazing bacon.
Dude, and the middle of nowhere, like where we were in the living room of some grandma and like eating ramen. Mandy, you were there?
Yes. But also, Icy Rose says episode 180 has an excellent list for you, Chili Boy. If you want to look back through our older episodes, apparently 180 had a lot of really good stuff to do in Japan.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, guys.
Thank you so much, Icy Rose. You are the best.
Yes. Ice, baby. That's right. All right, we got to wrap this up because I got to pee so bad.
Yes. Me too.
All right, so thank you guys so much for putting up with us.
2.5 hours. Woo!
Nah, you're fine, guys. We started late, so it's really only like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you haven't already, you can find us on AAAPodcast.com. Go to AAAPodcast.com/join to create an account to get access to all of the extra episodes that we put out. After this, we're going to be recording a hentai episode, so you can get that there. You can also get our Hobby Addicts, our after parties, a bunch of other, just a ton of podcasting goodness for a couple of bucks. It's no big deal. Yep. Come on, what are you gonna do? Look, just don't go to Starbucks today and instead get hundreds of hours of podcasting goodness. What are you doing? It would be fiscally irresponsible.
Really expensive. He's not wrong.
Yeah, it would be fiscally irresponsible if you didn't. All right, I'm trying to help you out. All right. Do you want to be living with your mom forever? No. Okay, so you're gonna have to put aside some money. Subscribe to our additional.
Oh my god, wrap it up.
All right, make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes. Head over to our Facebook, facebook.com/groups/AAPodcast, and join our Discord. You can get a link to that off of the main page of the website. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And now sit with me as I try to find the outro music to our podcast.
Man, this has been a great episode. I loved it.
How was your day?
All right.
This has been the Anime
there we go.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
I gotta find the stop broadcasting button.